Hi everyone, my name's Noelle, also known as Charge and Die on TikTok, Instagram, and all the things. I tell Scareactor Stories. I'm a professional scare actor, and I thought it'd be fun to talk to my fellow scare actor friends so that they get a chance to tell their stories. So welcome to Scareactor Stories. Ricky, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. You just so handily helped yourself with that. Now swing it to me.
Yeah,
My
I'm
name
just
is
putting you on
Ricky
the spot.
Borrego.
This is the
Yeah,
whole interview is putting you on the spot. You're welcome.
great. Let's get some spots. My name is Ricky Borrego. My handles are basically Borrego Ricky on Twitter, Instagram, and just Ricky Borrego in general on Facebook. I've met Noel a few times, more than a few times. We've been out in the line of duty for scare acting, so we definitely have some good stories to share for you guys tonight.
Confirmed. That is all true that he said. I fact checked that.
So here's a book. There's people waiting around. You're like, yes, true. It's true.
It is
It's
true. I
true.
do know him personally. We were in the line of duty together. Thank you very much. Hi, Jenny. My friend Jenny's here. Yeah, she says, great shirt, Ricky.
Oh yeah, this is one of my. I'm a sucker for a good button up, and you throw the Shining Maze on there, the carpet. It's good to go any given time.
Oh, The Shining is one of my favorite horror movies, I gotta say. I do love your shirt too. I will also throw that in. Very, we're very themed today, aren't we? Just
Very, very
spooky.
much so. It's like we're looking around. We're like, what is spooky? Yes, that is
Literally
spooky.
throw it on. I have like 3 or 4 of these kind of dresses, by the way, and you will see them in every interview because as long as it's October, I'm gonna dress up spooky. It makes me feel good.
Exactly.
Also, I like to play a fun game of how long will this lipstick stay on my face. So we'll find out.
Mine's already off, so Oh, womp womp.
Oh,
Mine's
womp
gone.
womp womp.
Yeah. You dribble and you shoot. You hope for the best, and it's gone already. So, all right.
Well, that's makeup for you. I can, I could relate too heavily to that. All right, so Ricky, how long have you been scaring and how did you get into it?
Okay, so for scaring, I could say within the last 4 to 5 years of typical scaring over there at the haunts, and the way I got into it was just mainly availability. I was looking for something I can actually do during, if you want to say Halloween is our holiday season. So I was really kind of going after it. I saw a thing on their Twitter feed. It was like looking for guys nearly 6 foot, and I was like, sweet, might as well get in there. So audition, got it, started in the pool. And the biggest thing again too was availability. So then from there you kind of get fast tracked to different haunts and you're like, oh, do you want to be a permanent spot? I'm like, yeah, I do.
You got promoted
And
to permanent.
exactly. You just kind of find your way through the haunt weeds right there. And you're just kind of like, yeah, I like this, and this guy's gonna show up. So yeah, we'll take him.
So reliability. So it was chance, stumbling upon an audition, getting it through talent and luck, and then having the availability and reliability to keep the career going. That's awesome.
Exactly. I mean, it's the biggest thing right there. I mean, especially for these types of things, it's just little luck and a huge amount of availability goes a long way.
Very true. And that's something we haven't touched base yet in like obviously I've only done one of these well, 2 interviews, but in one night, and we haven't really touched base on availability, which is a huge thing when you're a scare actor because they want to be able to rely on you, and you need to fill in the space. So too many empty
Exactly.
holes in a haunt is not scary.
I know. It's like, oh my goodness. And then wait for it, wait for it. Oh, look, something else. Like,
Five
yeah,
minutes later. Oh, another pop
they're
out
like,
scare.
it's like,
Oh,
oh,
Bubba
this thing's
says,
supposed to be
sup,
scary.
Stitches. Hi, Bubba. Thanks for being here.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah. All right, so you clearly enjoy scaring since you've done it for so many years. We met back in 2017, right, on Terror Tram. How many different haunts have you done, or have you stuck with the same one?
See, well, I've pretty much basically stayed over there where like Terror Tram was. I did a few pockets of spaces here and there at different little haunts, but nothing really kind of like I was more just like a fill-in. So I could say maybe like 5 or 6 different other ones I just kind of filled in. But Terror Tram was basically where I was heralded at for a while. Just anything you kind of changed over. Like anytime I put it on my ticket, I was Terror Tram. I want to be Terror Tram. Hopefully I get
Oh.
Terror Tram.
I feel like Terror Tram is the place that a lot of people get started, and then if they like really have an affinity for it, they're like Terror Tram all the way. Because we are like a big family. That's where a lot of like little baby scares start off, and you could teach other people, and it's just fun being on that set. How do you feel about it not being around anymore? Sorry to make things a little sad, but last year was the it wasn't even around last year. 2018 was the last year,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they took it out. I mean, color me disappointed, basically. It's just like sad, sad boy Halloween all year long now because yeah, I just even like going and visiting to it or just haunting there. I mean, it was so much fun. I mean, you just think about the like decor and legacy of that place for like the motel and everything too. And you're just like you're scary when you're like, oh my goodness, this is that, and you're just like, oh yeah, I got to do my job, do my job.
Get a little starstruck from the set itself. I definitely did that. I took
Exactly.
some photos at like Bates Motel and I was like, this is the room, this is the place. And then Whoville, I was just like, ah, I love this movie. Oh my god. So
I know it's like we basically had Halloween on Christmas over there too. It was just like back and forth. You're like, oh, ah, ah.
it is me. I am Halloween, but my name means Christmas.
See, there you go. You were
There we go.
perfectly landed for that area. You're like, she's never leaving here. This is her
I live
permanent spot.
here. This is how I got the job. I crawled out. I looked scary, and they were like, she has to be one of us, right?" Just throw her out
It's like
there.
she looks scary, but I feel like she has just a blissful mind of gold and cheer back there. Aw.
Stop. So, do you feel that you've been typecast in certain roles? And if so, what are they? And are there any roles that you feel you might not be cast as due to like body type or like your energy or something that you really want to play one day?
I mean, for now, obviously, I don't feel as typecast because I mean, I've done through, the makeup on the face, I've had the mask, I've done like some blackout stuff. It's just like, I feel like I've kind of like, moved around through there, even through my auditions too. It's just, I feel like I give away the same thing that usually when I go in that room. And then from there, I just kind of like have fun. So, I mean, it's my frame kind of, I feel like allows me to kind of do a lot of stuff because, I mean, tall, thin, like pretty stretchy,
You
I
you
guess,
fit you fit a lot of roles, yeah. So you got
Yeah.
very lucky in that regard.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I'm just over there. Like I said, it's like, well, use my body, we'll do that. I mean, the only ones I probably didn't really get a chance that I wanted to was to check out was like the Universal Monsters one. Like, I think that would have been a cool haunt to go to in general because I
Mm.
mean, that's just like fun. I mean, I love monsters and all that stuff. And then obviously the Shining, the mazes, and all that stuff. I mean,
You got the
just
shirt
walking through
for it,
there.
just going with the
I
shirt.
know
Like, this is my
exactly.
home. What are you talking about?
It's like I could not have mentioned that too. And then probably thirdly was, because I was having so much fun at territory, I'm like I didn't, mind just kind of having the haunts there. It was just would have been to check out or work at the Stranger Things one too.
Oh, Stranger Things is another good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you working last year? You were working the event last year?
Yeah, so I kind of started more at the beginning last year and kind of played it off to where it's like had some other stuff like jobs and everything too. So I was kind of taking my time more of like they needed me to fill in something and I could do that or just kind of slowly go into the fold. I wasn't just like fully immersed crazy person like I need this, bring me here every day. I'll go here, I'll go there, I'll go there. I was like I'll be here. If you need me over here, I'll go there.
You're staying available and you're reliable.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. So what
All I
is
can do.
like is there like a certain classic you said classic monster mazes. So is there a classic monster you always wanted to play? Cuz
I
you had
mean,
Frankenstein, you had Wolfman, Dracula,
yeah.
what was it?
I mean,
Hunchback.
you're basically just, going off the list there. I think in my mind, I mean, if I could flip the camera here at some point, I literally have a wall of just like some artwork and everything of Frankenstein's monster, the Wolf Man, the Invisible Man, the Thing, or whatever. It's like all this type of stuff. So anything from that kind of, form of monster, I would be really excited to just do in general. So
Cuz they did have the Invisible Man in that
yeah,
maze, didn't they? Oh, I forgot about that. It's cuz he's invisible, you like see him, but you don't. Yeah, that's
exactly. It
fantastic.
was like, yeah. Yeah, it was cool because you kind of went through there and you kind of saw like the posters and the music, and then you kind of went through the rooms, and it was just all like it was like, oh, each one had like a really cool setup to kind of just check out. And you're kind of in there and you kind of immerse yourself in the little setup. And you're like, oh man, this is really cool. And you walk, you're like, oh no, I want to stay. I want to stay.
So you're one of those scare actors that go through and really admire the set and the costumes and everything rather than like pretend to be scared or actually be scared to help the actors out.
Oh, for sure. It's like
Yeah.
I have to take everything into account. It's like, the actor, the set, everything, because I know it's just a whole body of work there. And I don't want to just like walk through and be like, oh yeah, oh man. And then it's like, oh, you didn't see this? I'm like, son of a, I wish I would have.
Well, maybe if people behind me weren't pushing. I literally had people pushing me through a maze before because like I hold back if I know specific like a specific friend is meant to pop out at that point, but they haven't yet. So I'll like hold back and just kind of admire the set. Just look at that. Oh, moving extra slow. Oh, that's really cool. Waiting for my friend. And then people would like push me like get going. I don't want to be here. It's scary. I'm like it's awesome. What are you talking about? I'm waiting for my friend, could you not? And then, like, most of the time, I'd say, like, over half the time, I'll just miss my friend's scare because they, like, pushed me too far forward. I'm like, no, now I gotta go through all that again. Ah, shucks.
I know. For me too, I'm really not a fast walker. I just kind of float a little more. So I'm just kind of like taking the whole thing in. Yeah, you get people behind you, and you're like, I want to see, I want to see it, I want to see it, and then
We're
bam,
those
you're like,
annoying
oh
people
no,
moving too slow and people just want to run.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry,
It's
we
just
don't
like,
get scared that often. I don't know. Would you say you are easily scared when you're not scaring, or are you tough to scare because you're desensitized now?
I'd say I'm a little tougher to scare, but I definitely have that factor of just like the lingering spookiness because I just like I never want to like think like, oh yeah, I never want to be that guy going through a haunt or any maze where it's like, oh yeah, that guy's gonna bomb out. There's gonna be something over here. So I'm kind of just like still just kind of like I want to be scared type thing. I'm like I want to have something really fun kind of like go out like, oh, it's like that's why I'm here. So I
Yeah,
didn't
to
just
be
show up and be
scared,
like, oh
support
yeah,
fellow scarers.
scare stuff, boring.
So you know how to be a good guest because you've been in the scare actor's position, so you know how to be respectful, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, you have to. It's like almost like an unwritten code. It's like you're going through their hunt now. You're like, all right, there's people out here putting it on the line right there, right now for you and everybody else in this park. And you're just like, okay, let's see what's going on here.
So I want to get to the nitty gritty, down and dirty. What have been some of the worst guest experiences that you've had? Now that we're talking about like bad guests versus good guests, what are some of the worst guests that you've interacted with as a scare actor, and what were they doing?
I mean, I feel like the most like I guess like the worst case would just be the people that are like literally standing, like I said earlier, kind of maybe going slow a little bit, but
I'm
they're
the
just trying
worst
to.
guest.
No, 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 no! Don't you do that to yourself? Don't you do that to yourself?
You said it, not me. Continue.
No,
Sorry.
I was saying it was like, it was the version of those guys who were like because they're just trying like to secretly take photos of every single thing,
Oh.
and so like they have like their flashes on and everything too. When you know for a fact that they can't be doing that, and then it's just like they're sitting there almost like waiting for you. They're just like spam, and this huge light comes. They're like, oh man, like those are probably the worst because it's like everybody's just going on their way because they're checking it out. Like some people are liking it, some people are just more curious, some people are like you said a little desensitized, but you got a whole balls of emotion going on there. And then they're just the one guy's just like, hold on, splash. You're like, oh, come on, dude, just
And then you
come
see
on,
that
just
bright
go.
white light for a few seconds. You're like, ah. Flash
Exactly.
off.
He's like, why me? Why right now?
Bubba says, dude, they need to ban phones or something. I don't know, but it's free promotion for the park at the same time. Yeah, it's the same with like the drinking. Like they brought alcohol to the parks, like people could buy alcohol at the park. Yeah, it kind of prevents people from sneaking alcohol in and being drunk anyway, but you also have those open containers that they could use against the guests and also kind of encourages the drinking if they could afford
Oh
it.
yeah.
Have you ever had a problem with drunk guests or like someone tossing a beer in your face or anything?
It's like so far I have not had that problem.
Good.
I've really just seen the people who are like really wasted, so they just like reek of booze, and they're
Oh.
just kind of like nonchalantly kind of like woozing around. And I'm just kind of like, okay, this guy. I don't know what's gonna happen
Am I
with
over
this
here?
guy.
Am I over here? Is
I
there
know.
three of me?
Exactly. They're almost like just swaying, and they have like that, goofy look on their face. They're just looking around. It's like, uh, uh, and they're just kind of like, okay, cool. Like I just like, luckily I haven't seen like the really aggressive drunk, if you want to say. So I've been lucky in that fashion.
Yes, very lucky. That's good. So, what have
Yeah.
been some of your best not character, best guest experiences, best character stories, anything memorable, any celebrity scares? Like, dish it.
I mean, yeah, I could start with like I think it was probably the same year we were working the same, and I had like the facial prosthetic and everything too, and it was just
Because
I forgot I was
you had the
working.
jaw, yeah.
Yeah, I was like I was a ripped jaw victim,
Mm-hmm.
and so that was cool. And I had the shovel, so I was kind of just swinging around or covering my face and then popping out with it to kind of like reveal my jaw or whatever. But I think I was definitely working like a couple other jobs at the time too, and I remember I was just super spent, so I was kind of like lucid in my mind or whatever. And so I remember I was just taking the shovel, and when people were coming by, because it was a slower night, and so I was kind of doing some weird like crab walk thing with my whatever, and I was like getting really low to the ground. And so I would like come up on people's hips, and I'm a tall guy too, so it was just I would come up there, and they'd just like, "Oh my God, what is this guy doing?" And then I would like show my face and like kind of like run off or whatever. They would just like freaked out for a second, and I would like start like dragging my feet, just like, "Bleh, bleh, bleh," and they were just like, "What is this happening?" And I would like pop around the corner too, and the next people would see me because they would hear me. They didn't think I was that low to the ground or anything either, so just kind of like shoot up from them. They were just like freaking out all the whole time. That was just like really, really fun to do. Like I don't even know where that came from. I just like found something there. I just started doing it. And like I mean, my legs were like super sore the next day because
Oh,
they're
I
probably
bet
just
in that
shaking.
position for so long.
Yeah, exactly. I just like picked at it one time. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna start doing this, and then just it's like, oh, I definitely paid for it the next day. So I was like,
But
man,
was
it
it
was still
worth
so much
it?
fun.
Did you get like the
It
best
was,
scares doing it?
oh, it was definitely worth it because it was just so much fun. Like I said, I just like basically crab walking with that shovel, and I would just like kind of reveal it, just be like, "Bleh," and they'd just be like, oh my God. And that was probably like the best reactions I would like get besides just kind of, lingering around there and kind of having that setup where they'd kind of go through the mazes and see a bunch of us, either like in position or kind of like around there.
Yeah. Because there were a lot of you in that one entrance point, I guess you could say it is, to the maze, and then they'd wrap around the corner, and then they see the
Yeah.
bed, like folding the person in half, and then they would get to me at the grindstone. How many people were at that one area with you? Is it like three or four at a time? Because I
Yeah,
know,
I think
yeah.
we were kind of like people lasers where we were just like five people like out the door, from the car, from this side, and then he would come out from the bed and then shoot around the corner. So there's probably like five, I think, at the one time
All five of
that were
you
just
in that one
that were just
small
shooting.
little area
Yeah.
that is treated essentially as a scare zone. So how'd you keep from bumping into each other and the guests and everything? Did you like talk to each other like backstage to make sure that you're safe, or just kind of go with it and hope for the best?
Oh, we definitely had some kind of planning too, like especially before like the whole season started when you kind of, go in there with your groups and everybody's kind of looking like, okay, where could you be? Where could you stand? Where could you run type thing. So like after we kind of got a little groove, we were just kind of like shooting, left to right, left to right, like coming down. But it's like, oh, only every so often we'd just be like, we both end up in the same spot. We just kind of look at each other like, huh? All right, whatever. And just kind of like looking.
Were there any improv moments with a fellow scarer that was just like golden that you can remember, where it's like not pre-planned at all, but it just worked out in everyone's favor?
Oh, for sure, because that's kind of like going back to what I was saying, where we're just kind of like shooting out of spots to where it was, especially if we got not as big as a group, so they would kind of like be in the middle, kind of like walking through everything, and we would just kind of like dust them, just like boom, one person come here, and we'd get them going this way, and boom, they come going this way, and we're just like, it was fun because we were never like, okay, I have to hit this mark and get over here, so that way we can move around or nobody's running into each other. There was like small like poetry, it's like boom ah, and then we were like playing ping pong with them too. It's like it was,
And to
it
you,
was,
and to you, and to you.
exactly, it's like yes sir ma'am, yes sir madam.
Just working off each other. That's awesome. Bubba wants to know, what was eating like with that prosthetic on your jaw?
Oh my God, not fun at all because it was just there was a series of very non-constructed well straws that we were trying to use at first, and it was just like
I remember those.
it
like,
was just like they were like pointless. Exactly. It was just like what's this really gonna do? Because anytime you try to get anything from there, the straw would just break or wouldn't like produce as well coming out, and you're just sitting there like, oh, all right. And then they would tell you not to eat fully because you're just like, okay, we want to take care of that prosthetic. And then eventually, as you kind of go on, you're like, I'm just gonna eat this chicken finger or whatever. It's like, oh, you just start dying, or you're like, blah
just
blah blah blah.
screw it. If anything gets caught in this prosthetic,
Yeah.
it'll look like flesh. It's fine.
I know exactly, especially because well, especially a lot of like the people doing the makeup artists too. They would have a lot of like the dangles and all that stuff too. So it was like if it looked a little loose, it kind of actually added to it a little more
It's
because
so gross.
everybody was like slightly crooked or just like hanging a little, whatever. So when you're sitting there eating and you feel it kind of like moving, you're like, oh yeah, I got this on me, and it's just like felt
Oh
weird.
yeah, prosthetic. So you have experience wearing the full masks, prosthetics, and
Yeah.
then just makeup. Which is your favorite out of all of those? Well, like, what are the pros and cons for each of those?
Has to be a prosthetic for me because I mean, pros with it too. It's like it's just a really cool experience to kind of gain yourself with. I mean, it's just the sitting in the chair, getting it all done, and kind of checking out the work, and then at the end too, you kind of just I feel like it makes it a little easier when you kind of sit in the chair and just you can actually kind of decompress for a second, get it off, and then you kind of go sign out and everything
Hmm.
with the mask. I mean, if you're just like a naturally, I don't know, cool embedded person, like I mean, it doesn't feel as bad. But I mean, I run pretty warm, hot in general. So I mean, like a set or two with the mask, and I'm like sweaty. I'm like, I hate this so much because I'm just like sweating, and some people just like come, they take their mask off, and they're just kind of like they're like, all right, that was fun, right? And they're like perfectly put together. I'm like, I hate you so much. Like, I mean, you don't have like a wrinkle on you, you know, and I'm just like sweating, like I spent like, you know, a night in Texas, you know, during the midsummer. And
Hmm.
it's just like, oh, this is too hot.
Oh, too hot to handle. And then just
Definitely.
makeup doesn't do as much as like having a prosthetic would gross people out. So you have to like work harder. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like you can kind of get into it a little more too, as far as like if you have a prosthetic or makeup, just in general, because you can kind of immerse yourself as to where the mask, you kind of just have like you're hiding your face. So it's really kind of you're just, unless you're contorting your body basically every scare, you're kind of just like, ah, or whatever, because everything's muffled through the mask. So you kind of just have to work with that. But I mean, I would say if you run cool and you like have no problem with like, you know, maybe prosthetic or makeup kind of irritate your skin or whatever, just go with a mask. But if
Mm.
you're just, you know, naturally like cool with it or whatever, just, you know, you like the feeling of a little more being free, it's kind of scary with your face and the body too, just prosthetics the way to go.
What would you do? Did it ever come loose while you were on set, revealing that your jaw is in fact intact?
No, never actually got to that point.
Oh,
So that
good.
was good because they did like I mean, even on their first test runs, they definitely put a little more glue because they just wanted to see what was going to happen with it,
Mm.
and then kind of checking like you know your expressions, how your mouth and everything would do too. And yeah, it's like luckily I never really had to get like touched up or anything as far as like reapplying glue or even makeup on there. I mean, I did it pretty good. It's like I said, I mean, for me, since I didn't have a mask on, I wasn't like sweating as much. So I'd imagine if you run naturally like really, really hot, like you'd probably start sweating and it would start coming loose. But I
Hmm.
mean, for me, it was perfect because we were outside in general, had the prosthetic, nothing really like came undone. I was like, this is just fun for me now.
And it's awesome that you had a prop too, because that adds so much. I love having props. I think it's weird. I think I set myself up for this failure. It's not a failure, but I don't mind masks. I'm with you on I like prosthetics most.
Yeah.
If I could just have makeup on that looks really good, maybe that just because I'm most comfortable with just my own skin, whatever. But prosthetics adds a little something, something. As long as they're glued on tight and they don't restrict my movement or hurt, then yeah, I would love that. But my first year scaring at HHN, I had that full mask, right? And it was not that comfortable, but after like mid run it started to ease into it a little more. And then the next year I had the big wolf head mask, and I think it was, oh, She handled the mask fine her first year. Let's just leave her with masks because no one wants to wear a mask. I'm like, okay. I can't
You're
do
like, this
much.
year I'm hoping to whatever. They're like, yeah, mask. And you're like, no, I don't want
It was more
it.
important to me that I was in a scare zone than anything else. So I'm like, if it means I get to be in a scare zone, fine, I'll put up with the mask. But it did end up like hurting the bridge of my nose. It made it bleed quite a bit. So we had to like work around that. And then the
Okay.
claws, the mannequin hands that they molded it to. First off, my fingers are very long. Mannequin hands do not work for me.
Well
And
played.
the pinkies were forced out. So when I put the
Oh,
claw on, my pinky would just hang out here and hurt the inner bit because I'm wearing it for hours on end. So I'm like, I just want prosthetics. I want to wear my own stuff, please. But beggars can't be choosers. I got my scare zone. I'm happy.
I mean,
So
yeah, I'm sure you just went over there and worked as best you could. And you're just like, oh, like massaging your fingers after every. You're like, oh my goodness, oh my.
ouchie, ouch. They did cut a slit in the plastic, so it was like a little more bendable. But yeah, no, my pinky lived out there for a while. It was not pleasant. But when you're in the moment, you don't recognize it. You're working with the adrenaline, right?
Oh, for sure.
Jackie Jacks 0808 says, "What do you like most about being a scare actor? I want to be one when I'm old enough."
Okay, I mean, realistically, if you're already thinking about when you're old enough, then you must like just, scary stuff in general. So, I mean, just going to the park and kind of seeing the whole transformation of like how it shifts from like, really happy, fun type stuff to like this scary kind of decor and everything. And it's so fun. I mean, it doesn't hurt like the little perks we kind of get as far as, going in for like discounts or for like food or just, stuff we can get for the park in general, like for the days and the nights. And it's just, I mean, kind of being part of that community is just kind of like really fun because you see like the whole backstage stuff and it doesn't really like for me like lose its luster or anything. It's just so fun to even just be part of that stuff. And then just as it continues, you're just kind of like, you just feel like really, really lucky that you're just kind of there, kind of get to check out everything.
So you've been scaring for quite a few years now. Uh, Take it back to your first time scaring. What is the biggest piece of advice you would give to new scarers now that you're more of a veteran of scaring? Something that you learned while scaring since the beginning that's held true this whole time.
All right. I mean, besides number one would be availability. To just like
Availability!
ability to get out there, just be to like, know your body, know what you can, know what you can't do. I mean, definitely get into as far as like if you're just going to be somewhere that's not just a blackout performer or anything too, just take care of yourself from like stretching to a lot of water and everything. I mean, just take your time and kind of like get used to it. I mean, there's nothing really wrong that you can't do unless you're really trying to go over the top and like make, some kind of like weird like bad problem. So it just really kind of just taking to apart what you can do, what the haunt is, where you're at, and just, get to know your coworkers so that way they can help you too, and in the fact you can help them as well.
I think that's really great advice. Very well done, Ricky. Are there
I do what
any?
I can.
Yeah, do what you can. Are there any like other fun scare actor stories that you'd like to tell? Any like really memorable scares that stick out in your mind over your years of scaring?
Let's see. I mean, definitely. I mean, anything that has like a door is always like the like most like fun because it's just like you just blast out of these doors, and a lot of times too, especially with people having alcohol and everything too, you can kind of see through the cracks. So I mean, there's definitely a lot of times where it's like busted out that door because your supervisor are just like they're like, yeah, just like we want you to just pop, shoot out of there, go, 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 and you're like, you don't want to like break stuff and everything, or like as far as like the prop or just like the decor, and then yeah, just really like popping out like of doors. I guess probably one of my most fun things to do is you just bam, you bust out of there. And it's really I could say 80-20 that somebody's just like freaked out because it's just like a door and they know someone's going to come out, but when somebody comes out with such ferocity with a mask or something like that, they're like, oh, like I knew that was going to happen, but still freaked me out. And then the other people, like the other 20%, would just be, it's fun too because especially if you get into your later days, you pop it out of that door, you feel like you did a really good job, and there's somebody just standing there with a beer, kind of just looking at you like, yeah, I knew somebody was going to come out of there. So you both just kind of have a moment where you're kind of like, oh, all right, later, and you take off, and they're kind of like, yeah, this is how they scare you. It's kind of like it's pretty funny because
Yep,
it's just
this
like,
is haunt
yeah,
season. Like, what you gonna
yeah.
do?
It's like, yeah, this is what I paid for. I guess I'll move on now.
Oh, well, that's why you need a door and another door like across from each other, so they're doing a little like,
Yeah,
which one is it gonna be? Which one is it gonna
yeah,
be?
exactly. Kind of get their mind guessing because if you're just walking straight forward and you see a door or even just, oh, there's a blinking light like right at the end of this thing, you're like, okay, I should pretty much brace myself and see what's going to happen here.
You know the tells when you're a scare actor going through a haunt. You're like, I see a camera there. Someone's got a monitor. They're gonna pop
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
They're gonna pop out
And you
around
start
here.
you start hearing the music a little more, and it's like playing with your mind, and you're like, oh, you see blinking lights or strobe lights or something, or just like a wind kind of like tunnel. You're like, oh, just be aware, be aware.
Something's gonna happen. I can feel it. Ah.
Exactly. And that's kind of like the best thing that happens too when like nothing does happen. And then you get a little further on, then like everything comes at you at once, where it's like, because I know that's kind of like what the setup's supposed to be. It's like, okay, you got a bunch of people in here. Like, oh, we're gonna get them here. Somebody's gonna pop out there. But it's more of like the anticipation too. Like it was just, it's very dark. You're walking through. It's like you just don't know what's gonna happen. You can't see anything, and it like plays like both ways. Because for the scare actor, they're like, oh, we're gonna get him. We're gonna get him all right. And then as a person is walking through, you're kind of like, I don't know what to think right now. And then bam, you get got, and you're
You
like,
got me. What have been some of your favorite reactions? Like types of
I
reactions
mean,
from people?
for me, it just has to be. I mean, I generally cuss in general. I'm not gonna do it on here because I
Thank you.
just don't want to do it. But it's like when they just start like screaming profanities or just freaking out, especially when it's like a group and it's just like they just start like unloading because they're just like they're so mad that they got about what happened. It's like F bomb here, S word there. They're like just freaking out. Like, oh, I knew something was gonna happen. And then from there, that's what makes it a little more fun when you see people like they get like throw out a real big F bomb and they just like run right into the person like behind them and start like grabbing their shirt and they're just like, what? And the one dude's like, stop grabbing me. And they're like, look, and then you see something like pretty scary, and they're just like, "Oh no, forget this, forget this." They start like trying to walk around, and just like they're just like clenching clothes and everything too, and just like frozen. Like when the people have like friends too, and they're just like, look over there," and the other person just like they just yell and they're frozen. They're just like, "Oh, I can't do it." Again. They just start walking. It's like that's probably some of the best stuff right there. Where you just, almost like dead where you stand. They're just like, "Oh, no, I can't. I don't want to look. I don't want to do anything."
So instead of fight or flight, they got freeze, and they're like,
Yeah,
"Can you go back in your
exactly.
hiding hole so that I may leave?"
Exactly. You're like, do you want to keep going or should somebody come get you or what's going on here?
Do you want show control to escort you out? Because they can.
So you want the guys in the capes to come by here, just like escort you out of here with a little flashlight action, just
It's
hey
okay.
you.
It's okay. They're not gonna hurt you. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Have you gotten any like little kids either really scared by what you did or not scared at all?
Oh, for sure. It's those shrieks they have too, where it's just like so loud. It kind of like freaks me out sometimes. They're just like they clench like their parent's leg or something like that. They're yelling so loud that I'm in mid scare and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like tearing my ears off. And
Uno
then just because like
reverse.
yeah, and a lot of times like they try to like well the parents or just whoever they're with just like will shield them a little bit. But the funny thing is too with a lot of kids, like unless they're just like so scared where they don't want to look, a lot of kids just they're scared and they hide, but they're still like looking right at you. So they're just like, ah, and you kind of like back up and they come back into it and they're just like, ah. So they're just like pausing and waiting. It's like, but they keep looking at you. So you're like, well, I gotta keep this going then because I can't just like, it's okay, see you later, and then walk off or something.
Right,
I
you gotta
just
stay in
like,
character.
exactly. If you're gonna keep looking at me, I'm gonna keep shooting right down the middle right
Just
at
gotta
you.
make it a game at that point, like,
I
yeah.
know. It's like, I don't care how low you are. You came here. You're here. You're here. I'm here. This is what's gonna happen. Your parents paid a lot of money for this.
Oh my my god. I don't get people that come to haunts and then get mad at you for scaring them. Have you ever had those kind of people be like, "How dare you scare my girlfriend?"
Oh man, yeah, those people are probably like some of the worst people ever. Because it's like, why did you even show up then? Like,
Exactly.
what is happening here? Like, what did you think was going to happen? And then, like, I don't know, it's like somebody just like gas up your head too much. And you're just like, oh, I can't believe you! Don't touch me! Don't you do it! And you're just like, I'm not going to touch you. Like,
I'm not
it's
allowed to
just we
touch
can't do
you.
that. I know exactly. Like, it's pretty much explained the whole thing. But they're just so mad that people are doing their job at this scary place.
Like, you
And they're like, they
paid to
can't.
be at a haunt that scares people. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, the worst though, in my opinion, in that realm of identity, let's say, I I don't like it at all when people touch the scare actor and then go, "You're not allowed to touch us though. You can
Oh
come at
yeah,
me, you can't touch me, but I'm going to push you to the ground." Like, what?
yeah. I'll
That's not
yeah.
cool. You're not allowed to do that either. Like, what are
I know.
you doing?
It's almost like those people were literally like pulled from one of those like really bad '80s movies. And they're like, "Watch this, Trevor." Boom, and they push them. They're like, "Ha! They can't do anything. What are they going to
Can't
do?"
touch me. Can't touch
And
me.
the other guy's like, "Good one, Chet. You totally nailed him." It's like,
I like picture this in my head of actually happening in a hall. Like, yeah, good job, Chet. Let's move on to the next character, man. Like,
I know you're like, "Yeah, you
push
showed
a
those guys."
chainsaw,
Yeah,
see what
that's
happens. Like, have you ever wanted
exactly.
to do
Yeah.
chainsaw? Have you ever done chainsaw?
I haven't done chainsaw, but I feel like I have a ton of respect for those guys. Those guys are just like running up and just boom, just really going after it. I feel like I have enough coordination to kind of do that, but I feel like those guys just go like 1,000, 1,000,000,000% like so hard with that stuff too. And I'm just like, I wouldn't be able to do that. Like I just like I would like to do it, but I just feel like I wouldn't do it as much justice as like most of those guys just do it in general.
Well, it would take practice, you know. I
Yeah,
was hoping to be chainsaw this year, but you know, with the mess,
I know
can't do
all
anything
this
about
stuff
it.
and junk in the world going on.
Queen Harley. Hi Noel, I'm also a scare actor. Nice! Where do you scare? What kind of characters do you like to do? I want to know these things.
Tell us all the
Tell us
things.
all the things. I want the deets. I think the funniest part of scaring for me is seeing your friends outside of their prosthetics that you are so used to seeing them in and go, "Oh, that's what you actually look like." Like, I've never seen you outside of, wearing this. Like when I worked with Sky and she was a prosthetic wolf, she wore that stuff. I literally had never seen her natural nose until after the haunt was already done, or like we hung out outside of the haunt or something, and I was like, "Oh, it's you." I did
I
not
know you're sitting.
recognize.
It's like you're sitting there either on the tram or just going back to Scare Base, and there was like looking at you going like, "Oh, what a night, right?" You're like, "Oh yeah, we were there together. Yeah, you had some mask on, or you had prosthetic." I was
Yeah,
like, "Yeah,
your jaw looked a
that's
little
you."
different, Ricky. I remember though. Like,
Like, yeah, you're like half your face was gone. You're like, "Oh yeah, that's you got two parts. Yeah, you got two parts of the face. Yeah, yeah,
you look different without all the blood. Oh well, it's easy fix.
yeah."
uh,
And then it's like some people you really just don't even see too, because you're going back to like the Scare Base, and it's like they take the lights off and everything. Everybody's like either sleeping or napping, and they're just like, I gotta get out of here. And so you just kind of like see people with their hoodie on or whatever, they're just out, and you're like, yeah, okay, now. Like, oh, I've been here all year. You're like, I haven't seen you at all.
don't know what you look like. They do a
I
great
know.
job. Like, you look
So
gross. I mean, you look nice now, but you looked gross before, and it's all good. It's all good.
it's like these people with the things in their faces. Like, what do you? Well, that's great. They're super great.
Queen Harley says, I scare in Memphis, Tennessee. I like playing clowns and crazies. I also like to play clowns and crazies, but I tend to get cast as the intimidating kind of character. Like the wolf. The wolf was, I consider a more intimidating character because I'm not like running around all crazy. I'm a wolf, so I'm grounded, right? The only time I really got to play a crazy, it wasn't even crazy. It was like a purger in that Purge Scare Zone that one year,
Hmm.
Terror Tram
Yeah,
2017. Um,
gotcha.
yeah, since you've done Terror Tram a lot, Did you get put in pool? You said you did pool a lot too, right? Because
Yeah,
Terra Tram finishes
especially
before the other mazes, so there's an opportunity to
yeah.
get put in other mazes.
Yeah, so that's always cool, man, especially if you're just kind of looking to work in general or you kind of want to check out some other haunts too. Yeah, you go to that pool, it's like basically it's towards the end, they're kind of like, okay, well, we might need some people over here. Who's available? Who wants to do it? Type thing. I mean, people would kind of go to that sign up sheet almost like really like, I'll do it, like whatever, like if you need me. And then it kind of came down after that. They're like, somebody saw them, like people like established and they're like, oh, that might be too short. Oh, it might be too tall. And you're like, come on, just let me go over there.
Oh my god. I still remember when I got assigned pool to go to the saw maze, and I gotta say, I loved going through the saw maze. I hated working the saw maze when I got put in pool because at the time I was doing hand modeling, and they would put me in as Amanda digging through the guts, and the guts stained my
Oh, okay.
hands, and the bear claw was like little on my face. So, and I had to be
Gotcha.
there. It was an hour on, half off, I believe,
Ooh, ooh.
which is
Yeah,
the worst set to do there.
that is no, not good.
Like,
That's
I
not
hated
good.
it. I loved going through it. I thought it was really cool of a maze, very interesting, but that particular, and I was too tall for the table, so in order for me to not hurt my back being bent forward all the time, I had to like do this weird squat for like an hour. But I remember when I was getting like pulled away for that, I was thinking, well, I could use the money, so I'll go to that maze because it's open later. And then Chris, one of the Jasons, comes up and he goes, "Nope, you're not taking this one. She's mine." And he picks me up and carries me off like luggage. He throws me under his arm, and he's just like, "Nope, you're not taking Noelle. Bye." I still ended up going, of course, but I just thought it was the funniest thing of like,
I mean,
these
you
characters
got
are
to
just
applaud.
cool.
Yeah,
They're
you
cool.
got to applaud the power move right there, though, for sure. It's just, it's like, nope, not her, not this time, not on your life, buddy.
Sorry, nope, she's here, she's mine. Plus, I think he knew. Oh, William! William's in the chat. He goes, "Ricky!" with like a bajillion exclamation points. Do you have a rebuttal
Well,
to
then we
that?
got, well, then we got to get back to him. I'll play a little William.
Brilliant.
That's all I
Brilliant.
got.
And Bubba goes, "William! Ricky! Noelle!
Noel, William, Ricky,
Bubba!
Bubba,
William!
Noel,
Ricky!
Ricky, William, Bubba.
Tramily!"
Exactly. That's what it is too.
I miss Tramily so much. Any other tips for scare actors, fellow scare actors, over your many years being a scare actor?
I mean, really, just there's nothing too much before it. I mean, just prepare yourself for. I mean, there's a lot of long nights, a lot of feels it's gonna feel like long days, long nights, and then I mean, just have fun with it too. I mean, you can't. I mean, it is a job, and at the end of the day, you're kind of there to make money and stuff. But I mean, just have fun. I mean, look where you're at. Look at your surroundings. Definitely get to know people as far as their. I mean, look. I mean, I met Noelle through here. Look at us now. I'm on her stream and stuff like that. I mean, you
Yeah,
just
we're friends.
exactly. It's like you make a lot of friends there. You get to see everybody's kind of like full capacity because I mean, everybody's just having fun out there. I mean, this is scare season and everybody's just doing their thing, and it's like we could be doing just about anything else we wanted to, but I mean, we chose to be here and have fun scaring with our friends. So
So appreciate the time.
yeah, for
Just
sure.
push through that first 2 weeks.
Oh yeah,
God,
for
we lose
sure. Yeah.
so many people in those first 2 weeks. Queen Harley, I'm trying to get on your level, Noelle. Any tips? I don't know what you mean by my level. Ricky is on a higher level than me.
Oh,
I
no,
would
wait,
say.
no, it's Noel. Then like way down somewhere yonder. That'll be me
No,
right there.
no,
It's
because you've been scaring longer than I have. At least at this haunt, you've been scaring way longer than I have at this haunt. Because every haunt's different too. Like it's different working
yeah,
for a theme park versus just like a makeshift maze that a company puts on every year. The rules are
yeah,
different. So I would say tips: do research on the different haunts in your areas. See what you would want to work at and like what the rules are, what they pay, etc., and see what works for you. Because I found my home at my haunt. Of course, I could branch out and do others, but know the rules of the haunt, know what you're getting into. know the character, and just have fun with it, and don't touch the guests.
It's
Don't
like,
touch the
no,
cone.
don't, yeah, no, yeah, don't touch the guests. And I mean, especially for being on the hunt and then whatever hunt you maybe want to look into, it's like proximity. Proximity, between you and the guests to see, make sure you're safe and they're safe. And then too, just whatever makes it a little easier for you to get to your haunt too, as far as where you're located. Like I was like lucky enough to where I was going down the street basically, like living around like my area. It's
Hmm.
cool. And I know some people like, I don't know if Dash is in the room too, but I know Dash was like coming from like the OC one time too, just like making trips. And I was like, I don't know how you're doing this, man. He's like, I just love this so much. I'm
Yeah,
like,
Rachel
that's
was
like,
down in Fullerton,
yeah,
I believe. Yeah, like there were people
yeah,
coming from like, why aren't you doing knots? Like, oh, because you
yeah,
prefer this. Okay, nothing against knots. Like they worked that too. At least Rachel did.
yeah,
But like the fact that they were driving so far, it's like I I leave like 10 minutes before my call time and make it miraculously. Like I'm sorry.
exactly. See, I'm in your boat too. Basically, it's like, I mean, we know where each other live. It's just like right there. And it's just like, okay, cool. Supposed to be over here. I know I can just pull up real quick, park, get to where I need to go. I don't have to worry about traffic and all that stuff. Is We were spoiled. Well, we were really spoiled
We are.
with that
I
proximity.
know. I know cuz I'm currently in a move actually. I'm moving down to Anaheim, so I'm actually going to be closer to Knott's. Bubba, you live closer to Knott's too. We could hang out once pandemic and all that whatever, the mess. But he goes, "But Universal, the home and the godfathers of horror." It's true. Well, I count my blessings. I was definitely spoiled. I definitely took full advantage. I was like leaving 10 minutes
Yeah,
before my call time, and if I continue with HHN, I'm gonna be down there. So I will like learn both sides, and I am going to complain so much and have full admiration for people coming from there from before me. Like I had no idea. I just rolled out of bed. I walked up the hill. I'm good.
this could be a completely different stream if you're coming from like that way. You're like, oh yeah, I'll talk about it. Talk about how long it took me to get over here, the traffic here, leaving my place. It's horrible.
Oh my god. Uh, Jackie H, how hot does it get inside the costumes? That depends
uh,
on a lot of factors, I feel. Ricky, would you like to take this one?
I could definitely go in there for the mask. It just feels like you have like a mini heater in there, but nothing like too hot because it's just like putting your hand like under a lamp. It's just like you feel it's warm there. Like, sometimes you get a little breeze or whatever, but it's like it's always just there because you're just in that mask the whole time. And until you take it off, it feels like the best breath of fresh air ever. It's like, oh my gosh. And then you feel like the air
Sweet.
outside. Yeah, it's like having like a mini heat lamp in there, just like right there on you the whole time. It's like it's just that's essentially what it comes down to if you have like a full like a bodysuit on too, because that thing's just stuck on you. So you're just like, well, I got it coming from all angles now. So it's like I better cool down and drink a ton of water.
Oh yeah, I drank so much water. Well, I had an issue with my costume too. So to answer the question before, I think it depends on a lot of different factors. One, how hot you run as a person. Ricky, you said you run pretty hot, so you're gonna get hotter
Yeah,
in those kind
I
of
run pretty well.
costumes naturally.
For sure.
And me, I run like a little cooler, so I don't get it as bad. But also, the costume itself, is it a full body or is it just like a little bit? How breathable is it? If it's like the latex mask, that's like a little insulator for all your sweat and all that, so it's gonna be a lot hotter. Um, and then also how long your sets are and the weather itself. Like California is always going to be hot, but it gets cooler like mid-October. So first like September to mid-October you're like, "Oh my god." And then it cools off a bit and you're like, "Manageable. Manageable now. Okay." But when I was a wolf, I had an issue with my costume. I actually made a YouTube video on this if people are interested in watching it. Um so the issue with my costume as the wolf, other than the mask like hurt my nose and the gloves had my pinkies out like this, the leotard for the wolf costume was very breathable, movable. I wasn't too hot in it. It was great. However, it had a bunch of hook and eyes in the back. Since a
Mhm.
zipper would get caught in the fur of the wolf, right? So I had a bunch of hook and eyes in the back, so I
Oh,
couldn't take my costume on and off myself.
oof.
Also, I had to take that whole thing off completely to use the restroom. And
Oh,
I needed to use the restroom every break I got because since I was in a scare zone and moving constantly and it was so hot out, I was always drinking water and Gatorade and staying hydrated. So I needed to pee all the time every break I got. So every break I would come off and then someone would be there, be like, do you need someone to help you? I'm like, yes, please. So that they would like meticulously take off all the hook and eyes. And then since I was sweaty and it was like this leotard, I don't know what kind of fabric it was, but it would stick to the sweat. So it was always really hard to pull back on when I was done. So I'd like take it completely off, use the restroom, put it back on, have someone do all the hook and eyes. And then by the time I'm done using the restroom, time to get back on set. So every time a costumes person came down to ask us any costume issues that we need to fix, I go, yeah, actually this one hook and eye is loose. And also I would flash them. I would lift my dress to show the leotard bottom, be like, I can't pee. And then they're like, it took several weeks. It took like a full month into the run, but they eventually cut a slit and then added snaps in the bottom, so I didn't have to take the whole thing off if I needed to go to the bathroom. I'm like, yay, thank you. As I was telling Bubba on Monday, I feel like there should be a rule that costumes people wear the costumes briefly just to know if they work for like basic function, like can I move, can I breathe, can I pee in this? Just want to know those things, and I understand why that can't be a thing, but I wish it were.
yeah. I mean, especially when you go to your fitting and everything too, you're kind of just like, you need to make that decision right there. You're like, can I do this? Is this for me? Is my body going to accept this? And if it is, can I fight through this? If it's like, I'm on my third or fourth set, I have to go to the bathroom. I probably can't go right now. And you're like freaking out. And you're like, do I have the mental capacity to do this right now?
Just a platter of steel. I can't. William goes, do you guys remember our dance party on set? Did you ever
I
have a
don't
dance party?
know. I don't know. You tell me. You remember that? Where we're just like basically like going through like the areas, and it was just like basically everybody was just kind of like there in their haunts. Like I mean, I think me and Adia were doing that one time too, and it was just like huge like gaps or whatever. So we were like there with like Adia, Marissa, like William McCallum as Jason or whatever. Even like Jeremy was like over there too, and we're just like it was like trickled through the whole like kind of thing. It was super fun.
I remember in 2017 when we were together and it was like super slow. And I forgot who was the Jason across from me doing like the neck slit area. So it was like grindstone and then neck slit area across. But there was someone, I forget who was just like doing the floss dance, like flossing as Jason. And then I
Yeah.
stood up, and that's how I learned how to floss, by the way, because I didn't know what he was doing. So I was like trying to mimic him at grindstone with my gross face. And then I don't know if it was William, but I had a Jason with me too, and we were just like doing the floss dance while it was slow. And then this one woman came running through our maze going, ah, as we're just flossing. And we froze, looked at her, saw other people coming, and like I sat down and was like, oh, my face. And he's like, excellent. We were totally working the whole time. Like,
It's like you go into like some huge dramatic, you're like, let me go into this now. It's like, oh, it was all choreographed. Yeah, all right.
oh yeah,
These
it was
guys are really
totally on
good back here.
purpose. Oh, it was meant to freak you out and make you feel uncomfy because we were all doing this one Fortnite dance. Like,
Exactly,
no.
right? Are you scared? Are you scared?
Are you scared now? William, I can't remember who taught me the floss that year, but he did it on set and we all did it. That was with me. Yeah, I
There
can't
you
remember
go.
who did it too. Yeah, okay, so you were the Jason with me as we learned how to floss that one time on set. It was
Yeah,
really
might have
funny.
been like Chris. Yeah, might have been Chris or somebody else. I know there's a few Jasons that kind of,
It
it
was
could
a
have been
pool
Chris, could have been
person.
Jeremy,
I know it was a
the
pool
pool.
person. He was tall and skinny. Um,
Okay. Hmm.
then he pole danced. Yes, that is the exact thing I was just thinking.
Yeah,
And then he
yeah,
pole
yeah, that's
danced.
right. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I
Oh, that's
remember
so
that. Yeah.
funny. I wish I remember who it was. I think like I have a picture in my mind. I just can't remember the name and I don't know if the picture is correct, so I don't want to even guess just in case I'm wrong. Bubba, dude, Hollywood Harry year with the hooker clowns and the pimp and the pulls.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I would
That
have a
was,
field day.
that was,
I
that
want to
was,
be a
uh,
crazy clown again. I was never a crazy clown for HHN. I want to show them what I could do. I'm always an intimidating character or the victim. I only did it 2 years, so I was either the victim or the intimidating wolf. And I want to show them crazy clown because that's my shtick, man. I think Ricky was
Yes.
a Hollywood Harry. Were you a Hollywood Harry?
It's like I tried it for one time, I think, because I was coming from the pool that year too. But they kind of just gave me like a mask for like clown stuff, so I was like popping out. Like I went a couple of different spots, but I mean, I think I only, like I said, I only did that once or whatever. And then they kind of made me a permanent like clown, kind of like busting out of the door over there, so kind of walking around from the motel and stuff.
I remember that Carter was the pimp. Okay. That was fun. I wish I could have seen that because, like, the Hollywood Harry year, we didn't get to go down to Tram, so we didn't get to actually see Tram. What was
Oh,
your favorite maze ever that, like, you worked Terror Tram? Rather than
yeah.
working the maze, what was your favorite maze to go through? Does anything
Man, that
stick
is
in your mind?
that's tough. Yeah, that's tough right there. I mean, I would, I don't know why. Like probably, I would have to say maybe like Stranger Things or even the Creep Show one that was like over there on the back lot.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, I know
I
what
mean,
you're talking about.
two probably. I mean, let's see. I obviously have like a thing for The Shining, but the Halloween one that had like Michael Myers stuff over there. I thought that was because he would like enter through this huge pumpkin. It was like it was really cool. So it was like you were looking around. It was like you were inside the carving, go
Oh,
through
your
each
audio
different.
kicked out a little bit there. Just, oh, you're back. You're back. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you're just kind of going through the carving of a pumpkin, and then basically every room and stuff you went to was a different scene from the movie, like basically through all the different ones. So I thought that was really cool. I was like, I had a lot of fun kind of just even checking that one out. I think I went through that one a couple of times where I was able to kind of get away and go through there or get walked through. And I was like, let's do that one. I want to do that one.
It was a cool maze. It was,
Yeah.
Bubba says Halloween 2. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So our time is about up. Do you have any other just fun stories that you'd like to tell or any other advice to give new scare actors? Anything you'd like
I
to
mean,
say?
let's see. I mean, fun stories would just be, I mean, I don't know, anything particular from scaring. I feel like it all just kind of blends in. I don't think I've had like a huge, like, I never made anybody fall down or anything. I guess I
No,
kind of,
you
so I
never made
definitely,
anyone pee their pants or anything?
I know, what a lame,
You gotta
what a
check
big
that
dumb
off the bucket list. Just so you all know, scare actors tend to have a bucket list every year of like scares they want to successfully do. I don't know if you're one of these people, Ricky, but like all my scare actor friends I've talked to, like we all have this kind of checklist of like, I want someone to drop to the floor. I want someone to scream an unexpected scream. I want to make someone pee their pants. And then one really big challenge for me my last year working was I want someone to spill their beer that they spent $16 on. I did it twice.
Yeah, I definitely got that once. I definitely made somebody like do like the beer where it kind of like jilted back and just went right on them, and I was just like, in my mind, I was like, ah, yeah, gotcha.
Got you. So no bucket list for you? Nothing you wanted
I
to
mean,
do?
like, I'll work through that a little more. Like, same thing. I kind of just have like more just like regular stuff. Where I'm like, cool. I definitely want to make somebody jump or whatever, or something like that. So I'll throw some little like tandem whatever thoughts in my head about what I want to do as a scare actor there and everything. But yeah, it's I pretty much keep it simple because I mean I just it doesn't really like for me if you can kind of keep yourself cool, it doesn't ever really feel like a job anyway. So you're just kind of having fun in there. So I mean that's the best thing you kind of look at it.
So if next year, if the mess is all taken care of and we get to scare again, what kind of character do you want to be? Obviously, it depends on what kind of mazes they're going to be, but like, let's say energy wise, any kind of character in particular you might want to get cast as, vague or not vague.
Let's see. I don't know. As far as anything, I mean, I think it would be kind of cool if, like, I don't know, say you threw something out there, kind of like some like weird, kind of like cool creature, like even kind of like a demigorgon or something like that, or even just something kind of like just freakish, I don't know, freakishly weird, I guess, where it's just
Ah,
like, no, yeah, I don't, I feel
just
like
the
we've done like
fact
a lot
you're
of stuff.
there scares people. I like it.
Yeah, like this, like anything kind of like new and different, because I know a lot of these things too are more tending to do, stuff like it's correlated to like a movie or specific whatever. But like, just I don't know. For me, sometimes like the weirder, the better. Just whatever it could be. So,
I would love to see you as that. I would love to go through and have you scare me. Were you scaring? You were scaring 2018. You said, but that
yeah,
was I didn't. There was no Terror Tram that year, was there? Last year,
yeah. It was just yeah. There
not
wasn't anything.
2018, 2019. So there
So
was no
yeah,
Terror Tram that year. Otherwise, I would have totally done it. I was really upset because I went through. I got a frequent fear pass so I could see everyone
yeah,
scare. Where
gotcha.
were you working again last year?
Like I said, I was really just kind of like picking and choosing everywhere. Like I said, I
Oh,
was just
oh,
like
gotcha.
doing
Like you were like kind of hopping around pool based on availability.
yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly. Like I said, I told myself like last year too, is I definitely wanted to check out like the haunts and stuff in general. But I was kind of like I said, it's like doing like other jobs stuff too. So like, cool, I'll just kind of like put on myself and wherever they want me to go, cool. Like last year, I wasn't necessarily as concerned about having like a home to be like, okay, cool, like I'll just be here the whole time. I'll get my haunts in, whatever. But I was just like, yeah, let's just see what happens and have fun out there.
I like that though because then you're like, yeah, it's nice to be cast in a role and then you get really comfortable with it and you like know your area and you know your
Yeah,
costume and it's yours. But I like being other things too, you know? So I
yeah.
that's awesome that you were able to do that. Let's see. I'm shooting for Marie Laveau, the Voodoo Queen. Nice. Do you guys have the same theme each year? So that's in Tennessee, right? Cool. What's code blue, Bubba? And we were talking about dropping and then peeing pants and all that stuff. And he goes, code yellow, code brown, code blue. No code blues, please. What's code blue? Heart stops. Oh yeah, none of those, please. Nope. I've yet to
Yeah.
have that happen, and knock on wood, I hope that doesn't happen. I'm sure it does every once in a while, but that is like really serious stuff where you're like, okay, now it's okay to drop character and get help. Let's go.
You're like,
Whew.
hey, let me just like somebody's coming at you with a gruesome card. You're like, you might want to hold that because this person's in dire need right here.
No, it's like someone's in dire need, and then a gruesome card comes out, and you're just like, for me?
I know.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, but this guy. Oh.
You're like, oh my God, somebody call my mom because I just got a gruesome card. So
She's got
put it in
some.
your pocket.
Let me
You're
wipe
like,
my
man, I
tears with
hope.
my gruesome card real quick. Like, for those who don't know, gruesome cards are like little rewards, like great scare. Here you go. That's as much as I'm gonna say about that because I don't know how much I can reveal about that. But it's like little incentives to get good scares and follow rules and just be a generally nice scare actor to work with.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
a gold star for like having, doing a good job out there. So you're like, oh,
yeah.
this girl's killing it. Like whoever it's gonna be, it's like, yeah, let's reward them.
Hooray! I got one
Good
last
job,
year. The
you.
only one I got last year, I think, was just like, cause everyone's getting one, you know. I still
Oh, say it again,
remember.
say it.
Uh, I think Abe gave me one. The year we worked together, and I
Yeah.
didn't know why because I'm like, I'm just sitting here at my grindstone. I don't know if you remember this. Maybe you weren't around for this, but I was known for being that horrible person that no one wants to be around when she's starting the shift because I say the same joke every time. You know, I worked at Grindstone. I would grab my gruesome face mask and I'd go, huh, back to the daily grind. And then I'd put my mask on and then I'd go to my grindstone, do a pelvic thrust, and then sit down and wait for guests.
The funny thing is, I exactly remember that because we're all just like sitting around. I remember like the first song too was just like I remember like you saying that and it's like became a daily occurrence and I was like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing here.
Because it's the
Okay,
daily grind. I gotta do it daily. Otherwise, what's the point?
you're like, what is my face even doing here if I can't say this joke day in, day out?
I can't wait to be a mom one day so I could say those horrible dad jokes.
It's like
Oh,
there you
I'm
go. It's
getting my
like, hey,
practice in early. Let's see.
you're like, hey there, you little whippersnapper. You want to hear a joke? Because
Do you
I
want to
got
hear
a
a
lot.
joke? Do you want a piece of candy? Come with me to a haunt. Let me scare you. Are there any, obviously with the mess and everything, it's safer to not attend any haunts, but are you thinking of attending any haunts this year? There are still some haunts open, but
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to check out some of like the drive-through ones. Like I think Like I know there's like I think the haunted hayride's doing like a drive-through one or something maybe.
I know quite
I
a
thought,
few people are doing haunted hayride. Yeah,
yeah.
I've never
And then
done
there's
that.
what is it? I think it's a like a version of like was it Freeform or whatever? They've done stuff like that too, where like I know they have one like yearly, but this year it's kind of like a drive-through one. And then same thing, there's a Stranger Things drive-through experience or whatever. So I mean, those are a couple that I'm kind of interested in checking out. But if not, then I mean, I'll just be sitting here watching horror movies all the live long day.
Yeah, I really want to just catch up on movies at some point. I'm thinking of doing some live streams with my boyfriend where we like carve pumpkins and make caramel apples and like do the traditional Halloweeny kind of stuff. And that's kind of why I'm kind of mad at myself, I'll be honest. I took last year off in order to enjoy my holiday and recuperate from the year before because I don't know if you know this, but I got hurt that year before. As the
Yeah.
wolf, I accidentally got in front of a stilt walker and twisted my ankle, and it's fine. Like, it's fine now, but I just wanted to recuperate the next year rather than overwork my body. And that's why I attended the haunt for the first time ever. I had never gone to HHN before working it, so I was like, I want to know what the event is if I'm going to keep working it. So I took the year off. And then, lo and behold, I'm getting another year off, and it's not my choice. It's like,
Like,
well,
well, I guess
I was so ready this year. Oh man. Oh well. Well, shucks. Bubba says, dude, I want to open a haunted car wash. Dope. That'd be
have
cool.
Bubba, have you seen? I think there's like a video of something of that that I've seen. Like, there's a haunted car wash somewhere. I don't know if it's here, but it's definitely somewhere out there because I've seen like a video and it's like the wash is going to it and it's like someone like a clown mask like pops up the windshield or something. So that is out there. It's not a bad idea to continue with.
Oh yeah, I want to see that for sure. Okay, let me know how the drive-through haunts are because I'm very curious about that. I knew that was like in the talks of potentially being how haunts work with the mess going on and everything, but I don't know how it's being executed. So let me
Yeah,
know how scary it is, how it works. Hopefully, no actors
well,
are hurt with a car.
I know. It's
That's
like, oh,
my
what happened
fear.
to you last year? I got run over by a car. They're like, oh, okay.
I got punched by a guest. I couldn't. They were in their car and ran me over. Like, oh man. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Ricky. I'm gonna see if Sammie is online.
For sure.
It is almost her time now. But please, would you like to promote anything you are up to or your socials or anything? Any
Yeah,
parting
for sure.
words?
Any parting words? I mean, well, I wrote this speech. No, I didn't. I didn't write it.
Four score
But
and 7 years ago.
yeah, for sure. You can follow me on Instagram, Borrego Ricky, like that. Instagram and Twitter, Ricky Borrego on Facebook. Uh, I have a short film that I'm in. It's kind of working the circuits. It's called Truth Be Told. It's kind of like a speed dating type thing.
Yay.
It's pretty fun. In general, I do have a regular job. If anybody wants to drop by the Rip and Dip Gallery on Fairfax, I'll be there like 5 days a week. So if you just want to say hi, talk about hunts or whatever, come say what's up. I'll be there.
And then their merch is like that little cat holding up the middle finger, right? Is that
Yes,
place?
indeed.
I've seen
Yeah,
masks with that, and I think it's so cool. Or like
yeah.
little
It's
pockets with the cat doing that. It's so funny.
exactly.
Yeah, so go ahead, follow Ricky. He is awesome. He's a super great scare actor, but just an awesome friend in general. Very talented guy all around. So please give him a follow, give him a shout out. I hope you enjoyed your time with him today. Did you have fun, Ricky? I'm putting you on the spot again, so please say yes.
I had a great time. I will say yes, yes, and wait for it, yes. So
Yay! I'm
thank
glad I
you for
waited for
having
it.
me on tonight. This is really fun.
I'm glad you had fun. Hopefully, I could have you on again sometime. I'm booking stuff for December, so let me know if you want to have any new stories to tell. 'Cause-
I know, yeah. Between there and now, we should have accompanied some kind of stories, whether pond wise, friend wise, world wise, whatever. We're here for it all.
Yay! Friendship forever. Okay, everyone in the live stream, do not go anywhere. I'm gonna try and work on the tech to find Sammie, our next guest, so that she could share her scare actor stories. So hang tight. Shouldn't be too long. And with that said, I jinxed it. So anyway, I'll see you guys shortly, just a few minutes, with Sammie. Bye, Ricky.
Bye, Noel. Welcome, Sammie.
Yeah, I can hear you.
And I can hear you?
Perfect.
Alrighty. We're back. Haha!
Yay!
Woo! Alrighty. We're back on the stream. Bubba Noel, let me know if you need the Zoom room. I got it figured out, Bubba. Thank
Didn't waste
you.
any time.
I learned from last time. We ran into the same issue. That's why it took so long. Thank you for your patience, everybody.
Yep.
We ran into the same issue as before, which she could see her own self on her webcam, but it was loading for me, so you guys wouldn't be able to see this beautiful human being here. And I definitely want you guys to see her. This is Sammie. Sammie, would you like to introduce yourself real quick?
Sure. Hey, I'm Sammie. Let's see. I haven't been in California for too long, maybe like 5 years. I guess that's a long time, whatever. But I've done haunts for the last 4. This year would have been my 5th year. And I worked at Universal Studios. I haven't really done a haunt anywhere else, just Universal.
That's your home. You don't want to stray too far away. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we did not meet scaring.
No, we didn't.
Which is hilarious. We met doing children's theater. The opposite of scaring.
The complete opposite. Just trying to make all the kids laugh and feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah, so we make them feel good. I mean, I was kind of the scary person because, like...
You were the villain.
I was the villain, but I was the comedic villain. So I would make the kids laugh, but also they would boo me, and I'm like, don't boo me. But of course, internally, I'm like, mwah, ha, 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 this is fun.
Like, yes.
So, and then funny enough, while we were doing children's theater, I think I mentioned Halloween Horror Nights or something. You were like, oh, I scare there too. And we were like, no way. And then we worked together, like not in the same zone or anything, but we were close. Like you were in a maze across from me, so I was able to visit you every once in a while.
Yeah, come through, I'd see you. Be like,
and then it was interesting because it's like, oh, no, we really do work together here too. Yeah. It's nice to see you again.
As big as it is also very small.
What is Universal?
Mm-hmm.
It's not though. Like they hire like 1,000 people, yeah.
But I feel like I see like the same people, and I'm like, oh hey, I know what maze you're from. Oh, I've seen you in your maze, and I'm like, but how do I know these people? I don't know. There's like 1,000 people here, and yet I can tell you where they're at.
That's funny because I get kind of like there are a few people where I can see them because I see them all the time, and I'm like, I know I work with you. But then on Facebook, I'll get these suggested friends, and I've never seen them before, but it's like 79 mutual friends. They're all from HHN, so I'm like, I guess you gotta be a fellow Scareactor, so I'll add you, but you're still a stranger, sorry.
I'll add,
where
I'll
did
look
you
through.
Scare?
Yeah, where you at?
But it kind of worked the same with my relationship, too, because Glenn worked the Halloween maze as a tech, and I was the wolf on New York Street. And we didn't know each other at all. And then we met online of all places.
Oh, no way. That's how you met Glenn?
Yeah, we met on OkCupid. Like, I think you remember me talking about him when we were doing children's theater. And I'm like, I'm chatting with this guy on OkCupid. I guess he's kind of cute. And then since then, it's been our 1.5-year anniversary just the other day. So, like, fast forward a 1.5 years later, we're still dating. But one of his things was like, oh, you work at HHN? I did, too. I did lighting for the Halloween maze. I'm like,
you're like, what?
Do you remember seeing a wolf on New York Street? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, did she look like this? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, that's me. And he's like, no way. You scared my ex-girlfriend. I'm like, oh, this is all working out beautifully. Interesting.
We love it.
The foreshadowing is intense in this narrative right now.
Makes for a great story.
Thank you. So let's get to some of your fun stories. First off, you said that you've been scaring for, this would have been your 5th year, right?
Yeah.
Do you, I'll ask you this kind of the same questions that I asked Ricky. Do you feel that you tend to be typecast in certain roles? And if so, what are they? And are there any roles that might not fall in that typecast that you've always wanted to play?
Good question. I guess except for last year, I usually get like the pretty kind of creepy characters. So like the first 2 years, I was the exact same character. I was the Purge girls with like the white face and the machetes and like the flowing like white gowns. And then 2018, I was the Monster Masquerade in Universal Monsters.
I liked that costume on you.
It was so pretty and it was so cool. So I usually tend to be like the really pretty, graceful, but kind of creepy people. And then last year, I started off in Us as one of the twins, and then I got moved to Mrs. Claus in Holidays. So I got to play this like old grandma that's like really gross and nasty. And I loved it so much.
I remember seeing you when I went through, and you're like pointing your roller at me, and I was like, Sammie, is it you? And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah. Hey girl, what's up?
and then that's when you met Glenn.
Yes.
You met my boyfriend, but like not in a meeting setting. I was just like, that's my friend Sammie. I'll show you a picture of her later so that you don't see that face.
It's not what she really looks like.
Yeah, that's how we met. Like most of my friends, it's like, oh, that's my friend Aubrey. That's my friend Sammie. Oh, that's Dash over there. That's Jeremy over there. And he's like, I don't know any of these people. It's like, okay, it's fine. They're all in masks. Like, I'll meet them later. But I'll say that was like one of the creepiest things because like, you're in the mask. I'm not in the mask. I went last year to like support everybody. I got a frequent fear pass to just go and support because I wanted to take the year off, and lo and behold, I got this year off too. Yay. Not yay. But I went in and I would put a hit on myself. I'm like, this is what I'm wearing, scare me. I didn't realize how scary that was because everyone was wearing a mask or like really intense makeup, and I did not know who they were, but they knew who I was. So I would get people popping out and like touching me because they know me, but like I didn't know them. So I would be like, do I know you? And they'd be like, and I'm like, cool, message me later. I don't know who you are.
That does sound kind of terrifying though. You're like, who's going to come at me? I don't know.
We had a circle of chainsaws around us when we went through, like me and Glenn went through. And we had a circle of chainsaws, and this one little one broke us apart, like went in between us, like pushed us apart, and then started chasing me around for a good chunk of time. And I was like, Glenn, help! And he's like, no. This is all you. And I'm like, I don't know who this one is. Who are you?
And then I have to like play a guessing game, and all they can do is just like nod. That's
exactly, because they can't talk. So I'm like, when did I work with you? Where are you from? Yes and no questions only. Okay. So out of those roles, do you have any tips? How about this? Do you have any tips for new scare actors? Because you played very elegant roles. How do you scare while still being the pretty character?
Oh, so what? I guess it depends on like what props I have or what I'm wearing. So for the first year, I really played with the fact that I had like this poncho and skirt type deal. So I would crouch down on the ground and just become a white blob. And then I would just like poke up out of the fog and like just trying to, as gracefully as possible, just move toward them. It was really creepy. It's cool. And then
like floating. Ooh.
Yes. So I applied that technique to Monster Masquerade because we had the big like ball gown type dresses. So you couldn't see their feet. So it looked like we were skating across. People would always ask if we had roller skates on. But
that's a big compliment, especially if you don't have roller skates.
I'm like, oh, thank you. But for that one, it's kind of like the build up. And I'm sure you've done that before where you like build up and kind of creep people out first and then you rush and do like a little pop at the end. But that's what I would have to do when I was like super graceful. I would just be creepy. More creepy.
And you used your fan too. You had a fan when you were doing the masquerade, right?
No, we didn't have a prop for that one.
No, you didn't. I could have sworn.
Gloves. I wish I had a fan.
I know. I don't know who I'm thinking of now.
The geishas, they like flick it open and make a loud noise.
That's what it was. Because like someone came up from behind me and opened it up right in front of my face. I'm like, whoa.
Who is that?
Who are you? Why'd you do that to me? But yeah, that's good because like, I've talked to only guys so far on these streams, and I have plenty of other girls lined up too. I'm trying to get a good mix of gender because it's not so much like your gender as a person, but so much as what you're cast as, because there could be guys cast as like very graceful roles too, so it all depends. Yeah, so it's really good to get your take on things, because so far the guys I've interviewed are like medium to large build, doing intimidating characters or very quick characters. We haven't touched base on the slow and graceful and then switch. Yeah. So do you have any other tips on how to like glide without the skates? I guess.
So what I grabbed it from marching band. If anybody's ever been in marching band, then they know that the way you walk is heel to toe. So you're like trying to walk like this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so that your instrument doesn't bounce up and down. But I just applied that to scare acting.
Nice.
And it's just, you just glide along. It's so much fun. I think that's my favorite year so far.
It was a good year. I would say that. It was my favorite year too. You want to glide, roll the feet, Bubba says.
Roll the feet. Heel toe, heel toe.
Lower your hips to go fast.
Yes, yes. All those tips. Oh my gosh.
So what have been some of your favorite reactions from people doing scares? Anything stick out in your head?
I love when they're grossed out. Now that I've played like a super gross character, I guess last year was the most gross I've ever had.
Because you had like the triple chin going on with the Mrs. Claus. Yeah.
Triple chin with like nastiness coming from her mouth and just like blood everywhere. Anyway, so they look and they just go, ew. And they're just like repulsed by you. And then they walk away and I'm like, yes. I love those.
I was gross.
I loved it. And
it's then, like the only setting where you really do want to be gross.
Yeah. Honestly, that would be a character that I would want. I want to be like nasty and gross. Just like they look at you and are like, ooh, why? And then they keep walking.
What are some tips on how to get started in scare acting for people that have never done it before?
Ooh, so my first audition, I'd never done any scare acting in my life. And I went in, I didn't know anybody. I just went in on a whim by myself, not knowing what was going to happen. And I just kind of went with the flow. Now, what I would suggest doing is whatever audition you're at, whatever they tell you to do, just go in there with 100% commitment on whatever you decide to do. Any instructions, 100% commitment. Any character that you decide, 100% commitment. Because what I feel like they're looking for is as long as you have the stamina and then like the passion, but also like the commitment into whatever you choose, whatever you decide. If you have that energy, then that's great. So that's what I did for my audition. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but fake it till you make it. And then I made it. So
I think that's great advice because we haven't really touched base on that yet either. Because I was telling Ricky, I don't know if you were in that part of the stream or not, so I'm going to assume you were.
Not yet.
Yeah. So one of Ricky's biggest pieces of advice was to be available because like he would get cast in like pool and like here and there. They knew that he was reliable and that he was available, so he would always get cast more likely than other people who had more schedule conflicts. So be available. And now you're saying go in 100%, commit to what you're doing. Whatever choice you make is your choice. Go in for it. Don't be scared of that. And then they're going to see the commitment, the character, the passion behind it. And they're going to be like, that one's interesting. Yeah, let's cast them. Rather than second guessing yourself, because you definitely don't want to second guess yourself while scaring.
Yeah. Availability definitely does help though. Because they're more inclined to cast you. But I have talked to people who work normal, like 9-to-5 jobs. Like there's quite a few people like that. So they can't work on Thursday and just do Friday through Sunday or whatever. And because they're so good and they enjoy it so much and they're so great to work with, they'll put them in pool or cast them just because they like them so much.
For those who don't know, when we say pool, that is the like filler spots people. So if someone's sick that day, but we have someone in pool who fits that costume, they'll fill that slot for the day. But yeah, what's great about pool is like you could be in pool and then get paid and then not work that day, which is also a double-edged story because like you kind of want to work, you know, you want to scare. Yeah, like I would personally really love to scare, but then there are those days where you're just like, I've been scaring for 4 days straight, I would love this day off but still get paid, you know, and that's pool. Exactly. sometimes, not all times. And then toward the end of the run, you're using all those pool people because everyone's so tired.
So tired, sick. And then around here we had the fires too. So it's just like a mix of things around here.
And then we had rain in 2018 and that was unusual for California. It was like raining like the full week. It was weird. Yeah. What did you do when that happened, when it started raining? What did you guys do?
Okay, this is, I think, my favorite memory of Halloween Horror Nights ever.
Oh, okay.
So I was in Universal Monsters Maze, and we got completely rained out. It was flooded. So we all had to evacuate the maze and just wait for it to calm down. So what we did is we hid out in Gru's Cafe over there by Despicable Me just to get out of the rain because our break space was mostly outside.
Mm-hmm.
And we all were just hanging out in there, like singing songs. We were all singing Bohemian Rhapsody. My friend Kim, who's my roommate, she'll be on later with you, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, I have her scheduled at some point, yeah.
I put a spell on you. She was like doing a whole show. Oh my gosh, it was the best night ever. It was just a very great bonding moment for everyone.
Oh, that is so nice.
So
we ended up going inside and playing video games.
That sounds great too, to kind of like hang out and chill.
It was fun because we had a bunch of candy. We were in the Trick or Treat maze. I don't know if it was around this time, but like the creators of Trick or Treat, like the makers of the movie, loved our zone so much and the costumes and our commitment that they ended up bringing us sweets.
Oh, that's so nice.
Like brought us little donuts and cakes and stuff every once in a while. So and also we had a potluck that day, so we had like a lot of food. So we were just chilling in the break area in the room, and someone had, I think it was Mortal Kombat or something, and we just started killing each other. And poor Rob had to go out in the rain because he was the only one not with like a full head mask. He played one of the zombie kids in the movie. I don't know if you're familiar with the movie.
Yes.
He just had the front mask. And they were like, we need someone out there. And Rob's like, okay, I'll go.
Scare Zone Rob on the job.
Scare Zone Rob on the job for sure. He definitely got a gruesome card for that one. Like, oh my God. The commitment of that guy. And I was willing to go out there. I wasn't scared of slipping in the rain or anything like that. I was willing to go slow and steady because that's my character anyway. But the makeup people, the people in charge of our masks and stuff, stepped in and they were like, if you put her out there in that mask, I'm coming for you, supervisor. Do not do that. Like, Liz had an attitude to her and she was like fighting for those masks. Like, you do not get them mildewy and moldy. You do not put them out there like that. And I was like,
I love that.
I love you, Liz. I was willing to go out there because I want to show my commitment to the part, but I also love you because I really don't want to be out there in the rain being a wet dog. Like,
literally.
Literally, I am a wolf right now. I don't want to be a wet wolf.
That would be super heavy with that head on, too. Just imagining how
it wasn't super heavy because there was a lot of empty space on the inside, and that's part of the issue is that it kept slipping around and it scraped my nose and I was actually bleeding a lot throughout the run.
I remember that.
I would put tape on to try and help it, but it took a while for that to heal actually. It wasn't like, it was just like I can't move it too fast in any direction because it'll just like keep going. But it was fine. Like they packed it with foam and stuff. So like throughout the run, it got more and more comfortable, but it was never like 100% there, which is fine. It's fine.
No, they usually aren't.
It's fine. But
it's okay.
Yeah, the costumes people were just so nice because I would like go up like a little dog. I was like a little puppy the whole run. I was just like, hey Megan, can you braid my hair so it doesn't fall out in the mask?
Oh, they're so good with that.
And I can't French braid my own hair, and that was the most secure we could get it. So she would like French braid my hair every day, put the little red around my eyes for the mask, because like my eyes were in the mouth, right? So you need red instead of black. And so she would put the makeup on my eyes and then help me put, I would put my mask on, but then I would need someone else's help. It was like a whole team trying to get me in that costume. I don't know if you know what was going on backstage or anything.
No, not with that mention.
But I would put my mask on, and then someone else had to put on my gloves and then have the like sleeve part of my leotard and pull it over the glove bit so that
you're just like
my gloves don't so that my gloves don't fall off, but also like to make it blend a little more so it's not like obviously a glove. And my God, I would get so sweaty in those gloves. So whenever this is so gross. I'm sorry.
Bring it on.
Oh my God, we're dishing tea right now. So I would roar to the sky every once in a while, right? I'm a wolf, so I'd go roar. What was actually happening was that sweat was pooling in the fingers of the gloves, and I needed it to go up my arm a little bit to like release it. So I'd go roar. Get out of my gloves. Get out of my gloves. Okay, we're good. Let's go back.
That's the best thing I've ever heard. Wait, what about your mask? Did that pool too?
No, because I had a ninja hood underneath it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so that was fine. It was just the scraping on the And I couldn't see. I had no peripheral vision, no upper or no lower. Plus, the eyes were up here, so I had to look down, so all I saw were shoes.
Oh.
Yeah.
That definitely poses a great challenge for a scare actor, though.
Yeah, because you really have to be aware of your surroundings. We were talking about this on Monday in the live stream, too. Like, one of the biggest pieces of advice, I believe it was Bubba, I think you said this, be aware of your surroundings. Because you don't know where guests are. And this was a trick I did too. It would get crowded in my zone sometimes, so much so that I couldn't like spin around and just be wild like I wanted to be. If I knew it was pretty empty, I was a little more lax with my movement. But if it's like a lot of people, I would go in the flow of traffic. Like if people are walking this way and then a bunch of people are walking this way, I would go with the flow and then pop my head out into the opposite flow every once in a while to scare them. And then when I get to the end of the zone, I would like quickly turn around and then follow that. But every so often I would want to turn around and like go the other way regardless of where I was in the zone. So what I did was I would pretend to sniff the air and then do like a full 180 in my own little circle so I knew I didn't bump into anybody. So, like, wherever I was occupying, I would just quickly turn around where I was. 90% of the time, there was a person there trying to, like, scare me from behind.
Yep.
I got them almost every time, where they would freak out and go, like, oh, my God, she knew I was here. And I'm like, no, I did not. I did not know at all. But that's why I pretend to sniff the air, because then it's like, I sense something.
Yeah.
You. That scares
you. It was you.
God. And it's funny because I did that once in a completely empty zone. I've told this story before on my TikTok too, so if anyone's here from TikTok and know what I'm talking about, this story. So I went to it's completely empty zone. I walked to the far side of it where a wave of people were coming and about to enter my zone, but I wanted to turn around with purpose and then like twitch at them a little bit before charging that wave of people. And it was just me, like 2 other people out there. I don't know where everyone was, but I was out there and it felt like I was alone. Maybe I'm wrong. I just remember being like almost alone. So I get to the far side, a wave of people are coming. I sniff the air so I could turn around with purpose. Like I sense people. I turn around and this one guy in the front goes, oh shit, she heard me, and like falls back into his friends.
I wonder what he said.
I wonder too. I did not hear what he said.
Oh. I love accidentally scaring people. That's the funnest part because I turn around, you scare them, you're like, oh, good job.
Oh, hello. Oh, I did not silence my phone. What a noob thing to do.
No, I don't even hear it.
Oh, it's okay. It's
there we go.
It's from Big Hero 6, the blah.
Oh, I love that movie so much.
It's one of Glenn's favorites, so I was like, I'll make the little bit of my ringtone.
That's cute. That's cute.
Whatever. That was a great move. Thank you, Bubba. I tried to get creative. What has been, in your opinion, one of your most creative scares that resulted in like one of the best reactions? Because you mentioned being like a blob as the white character. That was pretty creative.
So last year. Okay, so as Mrs. Claus, as you mentioned, I had a rolling pin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know on TikTok you always talk about how you love adopting children.
Yeah.
They're the best. I love when kids come through. Now, I usually gauge upon like, is this going to be like a friendly encounter where I'm just like, high five, or can I actually scare this child? So when I can actually scare the child last year, I would pantomime baking that kid. So I would like, I would take him and be like, this, you? And then I use my rolling pin and I put it in, it was like a whole charade. Kim and I would do it.
It's like a big pantomime. Like
big pantomime of putting him in the oven. And as I would go more and more into the story, they would be like, oh my goodness. Like their eyes would just like grow and the parents would be like, oh, she's gonna bake you. She's gonna eat you. And I'm like, yes, I will.
It's like the long scare of like,
yeah.
We're gonna start off with you, your little thing, and then this, and then we're gonna bake you by the end of it. Like 30 minutes later, you're done with the story, and the kid is like thoroughly terrified.
Terrified. Oh my goodness. I think that's the funniest. Because I'm like dying in my mask. They can't see my face, but I'm like dying. And I'm like, yes, I got him.
Oh, I wanted to mention this with Ricky because I'll ask you this too because you've mainly worked with masks. Is that right?
Mainly, yeah.
Mainly? Yeah.
Hmm.
Have you used prosthetics?
No, I
No.
would love to one year.
Okay, because Ricky had prosthetics when I met him doing HHN. And so I asked him, what do you think is easier, prosthetics, just makeup,
Mm,
or a mask? Because all of them have pros and cons. And he said prosthetics because it's more than just the makeup. But it like adds a creepy thing, but you still have like the freedom. And for him personally, like he runs hot. So having a full mask, he
that's
tends to
nice.
sweat a lot more. You know, it's really hot in there. But I wanted to add, and I forgot to add this to him, so I'll say it to you and to people in the live stream who are still here. One of the pros of wearing a full mask is that you could laugh in your mask at people,
Yes, you
and no one will
can.
know.
Laugh in your
You don't
mask,
have to hide it. You don't have to go like,
smile.
no.
Although, you know what? Having masks like the last 4 years, I realized I make some of the weirdest and dumbest faces. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know if I could go and do a role that requires showing my face now because I've gotten so used to just making whatever face I need to make, or like roll my eyes when someone's being a meanie, or
Or
like laugh
cry
at
like
people,
I did many
or
times.
cry, or cry.
Like I straight up cried sometimes because it was like so intense.
You
Like
know what?
people would hurt me, and I'd be like, oh, they don't know that I'm crying under this mask, but I'm
Crying.
gonna let it out. It's fine.
I'm just crying, and yet I look spooky. Oh my
I would
gosh.
still scare. Like I was full on sobbing in my mask at one point. I go
Mhm.
rah, and then people would get scared. I'm like,
So true.
like you don't know
So
what's
true.
going on under that mask, and it's
Not in the least
freeing in a
bit.
way. But I will also add this advice for people who want to be scare actors. If you have a mask where you could basically do whatever facial expression you want, like you have that freedom. Not just the latex masks that are tight to your face, but like that wolf
Mhm.
mask I had that's really, really big. Um, Also do the faces you need to be in character. Because I was
Yeah,
full on going like, no one can see my face, but it gets you in character. So I'd be
it
like,
does. If you're just scaring and your face is just, you're not gonna be into it, you know?
no. And you'll have those nights too where you're tired, but it's still
It's like,
good to
ah,
like if you make it physical, emotionally you'll get there too. It's the fake it till you make it, like what you said earlier.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's so
Only,
true.
yeah.
So true.
Bubba asks, have you ever accidentally scared yourself or had a guest scare you when they weren't intending to?
Absolutely. um, Sometimes I'll turn around and there'll be someone right there and I don't expect it because I didn't think anybody was behind me and I'll be like, oh shoot, you got me. And they're just trying to walk by. They're not intentionally trying to scare or anything. I hate when they're like intentionally trying to scare because I'm like, well, I see you now. Oh
When
man.
they're
But yeah, I've
intentionally
definitely got
trying to
scared.
scare, okay, first off, most likely not gonna work because, it's our zone, we know what we're doing, and you are not
Yeah.
a scare actor, so you're not doing a good job scaring, and if you wanted to scare, you should have auditioned and be paid like us. I mean, I remember this one dude got me from behind. He full on grabbed my waist, like pinched my waist from
Oh,
behind. So I did a little like, whoa, was not expecting someone to touch me, but I wasn't scared by it. I was more on the defense, like,
yeah.
who did that kind of thing. And then he wraps around me, is like, ha, got you, scared you. I was like, if I could say something right now, I will give you a mouthful. Like, I would say, dude, you didn't scare me. You surprised me because I wasn't expecting someone to grab me from behind. What the hell? I'll ask you this because it is a bit sexist. Like, you could be in a male and a female character and still get this, but I do feel like women tend to get targeted a little more than men. I may be wrong in this statistic. I've only played female characters as a female, so I feel like I get the brunt of it. How do you deal with that kind of harassment?
You got to have a thick skin, unfortunately. That's just the way it is with this. I feel like women definitely do get targeted in that aspect
Mm.
because men get a different kind of target on their backs. They
Yeah.
get pretty aggressive.
Mhm.
But women, it's always like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful, you're so pretty, what do you look like under there, like that kind of commentary. And I'm just so you have to learn to just kind of ignore it. Luckily we have earplugs in because of all the music and stuff,
Mhm.
so it's easy to ignore. But thick skin for sure. But also, I mean, I've had friends who have been like sexually assaulted while they've been on set. It's not an uncommon thing to do. My advice for that is, luckily that's never happened to me. And I feel like it's because I'm constantly moving. Always keep moving. Don't linger by anybody, because that gives them the moment to be like, ooh, let me touch. Whatever, however. So I always just keep moving.
That's good advice. Unfortunately for me, when I was the wolf, and it did unfortunately happen to me too, I did a video on it. And that's not the only time. That was just the worst time. As the wolf, I kept moving as much as I could, but then I got a note from my supervisor saying, don't move so fast because you are a big wolf. And try mannequin scares a little more, because I did that before and it worked very effectively. So I was like told specifically to stay in place a little more, or at least move slower. Which is fine, because like it saved energy for me, but unfortunately in some roles you won't be able to keep moving, and for that true. I just say stay vigilant and tell your supervisor right away if it made you really uncomfortable, if they hurt you in any way. Like, it unfortunately happens. People suck.
They do.
Even though there's a rule in place, don't touch the scare actors. They feel like they can. And this is one of the reasons why I like doing this live stream, is because you get to meet the people behind the mask.
Yeah. I mean, we're a human person. Like,
we are human. We're monsters at heart, but we are human.
We're not just someone in a costume with like a mask covering their face or whatever. We're actually a person. Yeah,
and it's easy to disassociate from that a little bit. When you see someone in a mask, it's like, oh, they're a monster, they're a prop, blah. But as soon as you take that mask off, this happens a lot of times. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but if you ever approach a guest who got in trouble for touching you, and then security had to talk to the guest with you and get both sides of the story, and you take your mask off, most of the time that guest goes, oh, there's a person, because they don't realize. And that has unfortunately also happened to me, where they're just like, oh, sorry. Like,
I'm sure.
Oh, you thought I was a wolf? Thank you. My acting is superb.
Thanks, I guess.
But let me get this mask off real quick so you can see, like, just this makeup, a scratch on my nose, me really sweaty, heavily working, be like, look me in the eye and say that now. Because you were looking in the wolf eye. No, look in the mouth. Look at my eyes. And, that was another thing the other wolf and I would do. If someone pissed us off, and it was slow enough a day, we would follow them side by side and just stare at them, not with the wolf eyes, with our eyes in the mouth.
Absolutely.
And then they would get freaked out because they see human eyes in a wolf mouth, and they are not blinking, and they are just staring as we are slowly walking by you out of our zone and not doing anything else. Like,
they have the big blue eyes too, so they're really gonna like pop out.
Especially with the red around it. Yeah, to contrast it. I was just like,
that's the best. We're just staring at people and being like, what are you doing? Like,
have there been any times where you just had fun as a scare actor playing around with the guests? Like, they were cool enough and you were just going back and forth with them a little bit and just like making a game out of it, so to speak?
Oh my goodness. I feel like it's always kids. Maybe that's just what I attract. Yeah.
Chill enough.
Do you remember the year, and I think they still have these, with the Minecraft swords? They had a ton of Minecraft swords coming through. That may have been after. I think maybe that was last year.
I don't remember that. It was either I was on Terror Trim and I didn't notice, or also I was wearing a big wolf mask, so I can't really like see out of it. So
they were wearing, or they weren't wearing, they were carrying these Minecraft swords that they had bought from the vendors. So I had a machete one year, so I would just be like playing swords with like the little kids and stuff. It was so much fun. It was cute. But yeah, I remember those going by and I'm like, oh no, they're gonna get me. They're so cute.
I hated it when the adults would ruin anything I was doing with the kids, because I specifically remember this one time where I knelt down by the kid and I was doing the wave, roar to the sky, high five with the claw. And the kid was having a blast with me, but then the dad was like, oh no, and sticks his whole forearm into the wolf mouth, which is where my eyes are, and then shook my mask up and down, being like, oh no, it's got me, ha 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 ha.
Oh my God. I get a physical reaction.
And then I was just like staring at him with my real eyes like, bruh, why? And then he was like, do it too, son, like do that. And I was like, no. And then I like backed up and ran away at that point. It's like, dude, why the hell? And I got that once too, but that was like really intense because I was in the ceremony. I was in opening ceremony, and I was the one to roar and then charge the crowd first, so I got the brunt of whatever people were like running to us. So I was just like, hit all the time with a wall of people. And this one person thought it'd be so funny to just stick his whole arm into the wolf mouth as she was running by, and I got clocked.
Clotheslined. Oh my god.
Seriously though, and then I just was like, and I'm done. Because I would literally get full up in costume with I told you about like the mask, the gloves, the hair, the everything. I would get made up like that just for that ceremony, go into the crowd for like 2 minutes, and then go off because that was technically not my set.
Aww. Well.
And I got clotheslined by some guy who thought it was funny to close me in the freaking face. I was like, and 2 minutes up, I'm going back, and ow, my face. How's the mask? Like, is it good?
Is it fine?
Protect the mask.
You know what? Couples are really fun to play with too, especially when the guy's like, take her. You know how they do that. They always throw the girl into the monsters. Every time I'm like, okay. And then we like go off on our merry way, and I'm like, I'll take her. Bye.
I love that reaction. If I wasn't a wolf and I did that, I would love that. Because it wouldn't make sense as a wolf to do that, but like with your character, like you could totally get away with that. I love that.
Yeah, I
normally
love it.
As the wolf, I would take the girl because they just pushed her into me, so I would whisper in her ear, "Dump him. He's the monster." And then release her back to the boyfriend that just pushed her into the wolf. Like,
it's always the guys that throw the girls in. I'm like, man.
Yep. Did you have any issues with teenagers messing with you?
Teenagers, you know what? Okay.
Rolling of the eyes.
So, so around like 11 o'clock one year, I don't know why it was always this specific hour, but we would call it the douchebag hour because that would be when they would come through our maze. I don't know why it happened that way. Be like, all right, beware, it's 11 o'clock, the douchebag hour. And we just have to be on our toes. And it's just like these guys, they act rowdy. They act like teenagers, and just being dumb, screaming in your face or like dabbing. Remember, I don't know if you were in it that year when everybody was dabbing.
I was there when the Fortnite dances.
Oh, I can't do those dances. This thing, yeah.
With the flossing, I had a bunch of teenagers surround me in my zone, so I literally could not move because I can't touch them, right? So they would surround me and just floss in front of me, and then do that dance a little bit, and then just laugh at me, and I just stood there, and they were like, oh, and I'm like,
I just pretended they weren't there. I'm like, all right, next one.
I'm just like, you done?
Yeah,
you
just
done?
ignore.
And then when they were done and left, they were like, we scared them good. I'm like,
okay.
I literally did not move a muscle. What makes you think you scared me, you little...
You know who the biggest problem is that I've run into are like the meatheads. For some reason, they feel intimidated by us women scaring them. They feel the need to scream in our faces. I don't know what it is. They just need to show off in front of their girl or whatever.
Yeah, I hate those guys. I love getting revenge scares. Do you have any revenge scare stories? I want to hear those.
Oh my gosh.
Crack the knuckles. Let's get to it.
Yeah, let's go. I think it's mostly, it wasn't like people that I have had an issue with that I've gone back to scare. It's like if you mess with my castmates, ooh, look out because I'm coming for you. Don't touch my friends. Don't mess with my friends. We're all one big group and we got each other's back. Like, oh, yeah, that's when I'm like, oh, heck no.
I gave this advice before for I think it's especially for females, but obviously males too have each other's backs, but it's because like females tend to get this certain kind of attention, and there's no one really listens to us, unfortunately. So I gave the advice back on Monday for that live. I'll say it again. Have a partner that is on set with you. So if someone touches you and you can't get security, have the friend either point at the person as they walk through your zone, or the maze while the other person gets security, and you just kind of work together like that.
Absolutely.
Especially if one, like me, I couldn't see out of my mask, so I could feel someone bump into me or touch me or hit me or something, but I wouldn't know who did it because most of the time it was behind me, and I'm like, I can't see, I can't turn my head, so I would have a half transformed wolf, ones with prosthetics on, so they could see, point at the person, and I'd go, oh, okay, security. You see that Snow White werewolf right there? The one she's pointing at. Get them. So.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I remember one year, it was like 2016. It was the first year I did it. And it was one of those nights where everybody was just horrible. Like, you know, they were just messing with you. They were like touching, hitting, like everything you could think of. It was just happening. It was just one of those bad nights.
Yeah, you get those.
We had one of the chainsaws, because we had, it was a Purge and the Metro sets where you walk one way through. So I was one of the women, and then chainsaws were at the very end. One of the chainsaw guys, Ralph, my boyfriend now, came into our section and hid behind the mannequin just to like watch to make sure like we were okay during one set, because it was just getting so bad. So I love when that happens, when like everybody has each other's backs and we look out for each other. That chef's kiss. Especially
because sometimes security is just not on the ball, or there's just too many people for them to watch, so it gets a little tough. So it's always good to have like fellow scare actors' backs. And because I was the full transformed wolf, I had the half transformed wolves help me if I get hit. But if they got hit on, who's scarier other than a full transformed wolf taller than the guy hitting on you?
Exactly.
I love using my height, and the height of the mask made me look even taller. So I remember this one revenge scare I had was against, they were going up to one of the half-transformed wolves. Super douchey guy. Oh my god, I hated him so much. Like, I felt his energy, and you know when you feel that energy, the douchebag energy, and I was just like, I hate you. I hate you so much. And I sensed him, so I turned around, and I saw what happened, where he hits on the girl, and he's just like, call me. Just call me at her. He was not the brightest bulb for this reason.
Oh, no.
She stood perfectly still, just like shaking her head at him, just like, not even drop character, but, you know, not doing anything about it either. She's just like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just letting this happen kind of thing. They're like, what are you going to do? He walks around her, still doing this gesture. I'm over here. And I see his back to me.
Oh.
As he's walking backwards and call me. Oh yeah, call me. All these rude gestures. I simply walk up behind him and hope that he turns around before he bumps into me. And that is exactly what happened. I was standing there, towering over this like 5'6" guy, because I'm 5'9", and then in the wolf head I'm like 5'11" or something like that. So I'm like really tall. I'm looking down at him, and all you see is like wolf mouth open. Right? So he turns around, he's like, call me. Ah! Sorry, I killed the mic. But like he was not expecting Mama Wolf to be there, like, dude, no. And I didn't do anything. I was just there looking at him, that scary face. He was not expecting that. I'm like, yes, got him. And then the wolf girl and I high-fived, which is like, yeah, you don't mess with us.
I love those moments.
Kindred. Oh my god. But I love revenge scares, especially like if I was in this mini purge scare zone. It was connecting to
the maze and the
it was connecting the two Blumhouse mazes.
Yeah. So that was when I was in Blumhouse. I remember seeing you.
Yeah, that was when I was. That was my first year scaring actually for this particular haunt, and I was there. I think I was there twice. They had me there twice for pool, and I had a fake axe. I had gloves on because I was hand modeling at the time, so I requested that I wear gloves at all time. So I was like wearing gloves, and what I would do is it was the flow of traffic had to go from this maze to this maze. So I had my back turned to the flow of traffic walking this way. I was just waiting for it to happen because so many guys commented. Like, I was the only girl working it at the time. So, of course, and I was in this, like, tight skin American flag dress and showing a little skin, you know, so I knew that was going to happen at some point. So I was just like, not to say, like, I'm so pretty. Like, it just happens. You know it's going to happen.
It does.
So I had my axe here. I was, like, adjusting my glove, like, la-di-da-di-da-da-da-da. I'm so vulnerable right now, you know, like, approach me, I dare you. And so the flow started, and sure enough, someone went, oh, there's the pretty one. And I jolted my head and then stuck the brunt end of the axe in the guy's face an inch from his nose. And he does a domino effect for like 5 people. He fell back so hard. And I was like, yes.
I love those.
Yes. But I will say, if you are new to scaring, don't do something like that unless you are that familiar with your prop and with your own like motion. It comes with time. If you're new to scaring, don't try and get an inch from people's nose. Play it safe and get like a foot of clearance until you get more used to it, and then you could do stuff like that. Like, I've been scaring for years, even though that was my first year at this particular haunt. That I've been scaring for years. So I knew, even with that axe that I had for the first time, I knew if I did that, it'll end up just an inch from his nose and no one would get hurt. So just be cautious if you're new to scaring. It takes time to build up that muscle memory and know how to stop on a dime, because you don't know what the guest is going to do. They might come forward as you're going to them, and you have to be able to pull back right away at any point in your scare.
Like, kind of training your intuition as well to feel like, or to feel where the guest is going to go to. And once you like do it enough times and enough years, you kind of learn like that body language to be like, oh, okay, no, I'm not even going to touch this person. I'm like not even going to scare that one, or that one's a really good one. You kind of like start to point them out after a while.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that comes time. Have there been any scares for you that you didn't expect them to get scared? Like, they gave you the energy, like, oh, that guy's not going to get scared, but I'm going to try anyway. And then he had, like, the biggest scream ever, like those surprise scares. Do you have any stories of that?
Yeah, and it's usually, I feel like it's happened quite a few times, but how it generally happens is, like, they're kind of walking through, they got the face going on where they're, like, you know, trying to be deadpan and like not scared at all. Yeah. I'm like, man, this person's like scared to death. And then this one gentleman, I remember in particular, he had it and I just kept like creeping closer. And then he eventually stopped looking around and just looked straight ahead. So then I got even closer. And then he starts walking faster. And then eventually he's running and I have my rolling pin and I'm shaking my rolling pin in the air, just chasing him out of the scare zone. Just, that was the one challenge I had last year, was what are the goofiest ways I could scare somebody out of a zone? Because I just look like a grandma with a rolling pin. I'm like, what's the goofiest thing I could do to chase them out? So funny.
I love that. Just like chasing people in weird ways.
Yeah.
I asked Ricky this and he said he doesn't have this, but do you have a bucket list every year of like, I want to get this kind of scare and this kind of scare and this kind of scare, check, check, check?
I actually don't.
Really?
I don't have a bucket list.
Both of you. Oh, that surprises me. Because like I always have the same thing every year of like, I want to try and get someone to pee their pants. If that's a success, I check it off. I want someone to spill their beer. If I did that, check that off in my mind, you know?
Ooh, I think it just goes to show like our different personalities with that. Because like for you, it seems like very like goal oriented.
That's true.
This is very hardworking at achieving things. But for me, it's kind of like, you know what, let's just see what happens and kind of just enjoy what is going on and then just see what comes up. So I think it just is different personalities. That's all.
That's true. That's fair. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone in the chat with any questions for Sammie while we still have her? Otherwise, we're just going to keep telling stories and catching up as friends because it's been a while.
It has been a while.
It's been a long time since the mess started. And we haven't really
know.
chatted since. Like, everything runs
No.
together in these days. It really does.
It does.
Yeah. Are you planning anything for Halloween?
I don't have any plans for on Halloween, but I have plans like for the season. Yeah.
Okay.
So I went to Hauntoween just tonight, actually. Ralph and I went over to Hauntoween. It's like across the way in the valley. But it's just like this cute, family-friendly little drive-through. You get a pumpkin, you get a ton of candy, and it's super cute. So we decided to go because that's the vibe that we wanted this year. And then I'm actually going back to Indiana to visit family.
Oh,
And we're going to do some haunts over there.
nice.
Yeah. So it'll be good.
Did
I'm
you
excited.
do scare acting? You didn't do scare acting until you moved out to LA, right?
Mm-mm,
Right.
none. I was, like,
Forgive me
complete
for
newbie.
what got you interested in scare acting to begin with? Because you said you didn't know anybody, so
Yeah.
why go for it at all?
I just said, why not? Like, I had
Just
no
literally,
rhyme
why
or
not?
reason.
Okay.
No reason whatsoever other than, seems like fun. I don't know if I'll like it or not, but I mean, I'll try it. I got nothing to lose, so I went for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. Heather, first off, hi, Dank Zach Plays. Thank you for the compliment. He says, I love your TikTok vids. Heather Waterhouse, what is the best way to get someone to think you are scary or funny? Clarify, is this like in a scare acting environment, or are you just like in general trying to see if people will find you scary or funny? Because, I don't know. What do you think, Sammie? What's the best way to get someone to think you are scary or funny?
I don't even know. I feel like sometimes I do it on accident.
Have you ever scared someone by accident when you're not in character or in costume or anything? Like just walking around the house and they're like, and you're like, sorry, I can't turn it off.
Actually, I just did it the other day.
Really?
So yeah, it was at work. So there's this closet where we keep the housekeeping stuff. So I work at a hotel for people who don't know.
She also tells stories and gives advice about booking hotels and like fun stories from her hotel. So go ahead and follow her on TikTok. If you are here from TikTok, please follow her. Her handle is in the description of this video. Like she tells awesome stories and she's a personal friend of mine. So
Yay!
go follow her, please. Anyway,
Yeah.
continue. So you were at work at your hotel.
Yes. So I went to go into the closet just to grab something for a guest, and one of the housekeepers was in there. I literally just opened the door and said, "Hey," just so that he knew I was like coming in. And he's like, he jumped so bad, he screamed. I was like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean that. I'm so sorry." But it's usually stuff like that, or like I'll be sitting in the office and my manager will come in.
Oh no, you froze. Sammie, come back. Sammie.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Oh,
you
God.
froze for a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, so like you surprised the guy. You said your manager came in or something?
Oh, manager came into the office and she didn't see me sitting there. So I was like, maybe I should make my presence known. And then I just said, "Hey," and it scared her. I was like,
I
"Oh, my
never
bad."
know what to do in that scenario because I'm like, they know
I'm like,
they don't
"Sorry."
know I'm here. If I say hey, I'm gonna scare them, but if I like tap them on the shoulder, that'll scare them more. I don't know what
I'm
to do.
like-
They're gonna get scared.
I don't know.
Hey, what's
So I'm
up?
just like,
I
"Hey,
scare my boyfriend all the
Shauna."
time. Like he'll be cleaning dishes or something. I'll walk up behind him like, "Hey, can I get water?" He's like, "Oh, hi." I'm like, "I'm sorry, I'm a ninja."
Me too. But then I laugh and I'm like, I'm just practicing for next year. That's my joke.
I make it even bigger. I'll sometimes, if I had just scared him, I'll like make it known the rest of the day where I am. Like, I am walking into this room now. Do not be alarmed.
I'm
All right,
walking.
I'm walking over here. Do you hear my voice? Okay, so to answer the question, what's the best way to get someone to think you are scary or funny? The job is not to make them think you are scary or funny. The job is to be scary or funny.
Mhm.
So as long as
Yeah.
you believe it, fake it till you make it. My biggest tip for that is to mix up the scare. If you realize something's not working, get creative, do something else. So another
Yeah.
big tip along those lines is mix up point of view. If you're in line with their line of vision and that's not working, try crawling up to them. Try getting higher than them because they don't think to look down or up. So mix that up a bit, and then that ambiance around you might help a bit. The fact that you're just watching them might make them feel creeped out, you know. So mix it up. and do different kinds of scares. For funny, it really depends on your character too. Like, are you trying to be a scary character, or are you trying to be funny like the clown, but like mix it up? I think Bubba had a good piece of advice on Monday, which is balance them both. If you're hired to be scary, add some humor to it. And then whatever level that they are on will translate into the next emotion. So if you're like a scary clown or something, make them really laugh, and then flip it and scare them, and they'll have that same intensity of whatever they were laughing at into the scare. So just play around with people's emotions, and it's fun. But that's some of the best advice I could give. Do you have anything to add to that, Sammie? I'm sorry, I took that
that's
over.
Pretty great advice.
Thank
You just play with people's emotions,
Mm-hmm. And then also, fun tip, psychologically speaking, fear and love come from the same area of the brain. The only way it determines the difference is by context. So if you really want someone to fall in love with you, take them to a haunt or on a rickety bridge where they really get scared, and then they'll think they fall in love with you. So I took Psych 101 in college. That's the only thing I took from it. So Sasu Insanity, someone who is a longtime lover of your TikToks, thank you very much. First time live stream viewer, welcome. I am welcome. HOH, what would that be? Would you ever find a character that uses, hard of hearing, okay. Would you ever find a character that uses ASL to be intimidating or to communicate secret with other actors? That is a great question. I would say work with your fellow scarers. I don't know about ASL. It might be scary, but it might end up confusing guests who aren't familiar with ASL. They might just be like, what was this person doing with their hands? I don't know. But if you make it intimidating, make it your own thing, if you go slowly with it and then mix it up to fast, especially if they know what you're signing and you're signing something kind of intimidating, that might scare them. But I wouldn't know, because I don't know ASL, but I'm trying to learn it now. So patience. And it might be intimidating, but it really depends on the context. To communicate secret with other actors, yes, especially if they know ASL. A lot of actors may not know ASL. For people like me, I don't know ASL, but I have done like codes, like hand gestures with other actors. And sometimes if you know the other actor really well, you don't need it. You could just look at each other and know what to do next based on what's happening around you.
The only thing I would say about the ASL that would worry me is, especially at Universal, how they have the CPs and stuff like that. It might, since it is a form of communication and it is a language, it might go against that.
That is a good point. So if you're working for a haunt where you're not allowed to speak, I would translate that also to mean ASL, because that is a form of communication. And the reason for that is because what you are saying could possibly be a liability to them and anger a guest. So just be wary of that. If you are working at a haunt where you are allowed to speak, then yes, you can use the ASL to intimidate guests too, but just be careful of what you're signing. Whatever you say could be a liability for the haunt itself, so don't get you or the haunt in trouble with what you sign. Continue, this was the second year I was hoping to apply for Halloween Haunt at Great America. I seriously would love working at Madame Mary's Massacre Manor. I'm not familiar. Am I familiar with that? Yes, I think I am. Great America. I went to the one up in NorCal. Is there a Great America down here in SoCal? I don't even know. But Great America in like San Jose, California. I did not work there. I was almost hired there. I did not work for the haunt, but I did attend it. And then even attending a haunt, someone came up to me and was like, "You want to work our Christmas event?" And I'm like, I'm not even working today, but sure. I didn't end up doing it. It was really, because I also got that at Universal. It was funny because I was like adopting a kid and I was having fun with them, but I was scaring other people and like, I'm a scary wolf, and I come off my set, I take off my head, and this supervisor's there, and he's just like, not my supervisor, but just a supervisor of Universal, and he's just like, "You're really good with kids, aren't you?" And I'm like, "I like to think so." And he's like, "You should audition for Grinchmas." I'm like, "I was planning on it. Why?" And he's like, "We could use someone like you." And I'm like, "Are you trying to hire me for Christmas during Halloween? Like, what's going on here? I'm a monster right now." And you're just like, "You would make a great who." Like,
1 step at a time. Ooh.
Okay. I ended up not getting that Who job, but that's okay. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, that one's a tough one though.
It is tough, especially because they got rid of the character that I probably was best for. I think the first time I auditioned, I was in line for the librarian, and I did not get it. Gabby got it, which is fine. She's been working there for years. And that was my first year auditioning. I did not expect to get anything. So the fact that I even got a callback, I was like, okay. The second time I auditioned, they didn't have the librarian character, so I don't think they had anything for me. At least that's what I like to tell myself so I don't cry at night. It's fine. Let's see, excitation transfer theory. Yes, that's what Bubba was talking about. Excitation transfer theory is like when you have them at a certain emotion level and then you switch the emotion, it's going to stay that same, it's going to transfer that energy over to the next one.
So interesting.
I learned it from Bubba.
Fact of the day.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bubba.
Queen Harley, everyone has issues with teenagers. Even teenagers have issues with teenagers. Heather Waterhouse, thank you so much. No problem, Dank. Zach plays, I want to be Scareactor, but there's really nothing here in New York. That sucks. Sorry about that. But I'm sure there's got to be a haunt somewhere. If not, you could always make your own. It costs a lot of money, though, so just be wary of that. Sasu Insanity, if you ever want, I'm part of a Discord for practicing. It would be a neat sort of Easter egg or gesturing language. Oh, maybe. I'm literally just starting, so it's not even a matter of practice. It's just learning at this point. And I do have a degree in linguistics, so learning languages is not a huge thing for me. I'm not great at it, but I do at least know what I need to do to learn it. It's just a matter of learning it.
You have a degree.
Yeah, I do have a degree in not how to communicate in languages, but how to study them. So
I would love to get back into ASL.
Did you know it at some point?
Yeah, well, because I was in a sorority in college and we had some deaf sisters. So we learned like the basic ones so that we could at least, communicate and make them feel involved. So we all learned.
I think it's just a great skill to have. Just if someone happens to be hard of hearing and sign language, even though you're not, like you can make their day and make it so much easier for them.
Handy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the handiest languages. Sorry. I did not even mean that. I'm so sorry.
That's puns though.
It's accidental puns. I do it all the time. I don't know why, but yeah. So I want to learn. Santa Clara. Yes, thank you. It's not San Jose. And Heather Waterhouse. Last one. If you wanted to make this into a career and want to go into acting, what would you do to achieve this? First off, it's really hard to find year-round haunts, and even if you do, you want to make sure that they're part of a union so that they could take care of you and that you get paid enough. I don't know of any haunt that pays like a lot of money to be able to sustain yourself, so it might be good to have a day job with it. I don't know. What do you think, Sammie?
Maybe try an escape room or something.
That's a good idea. Try an escape room. I would say do different things. Want to go into acting. What would you do to achieve this? Good question, because I haven't achieved it myself.
Yeah.
I just got my first agent not too long ago, but I haven't gotten any auditions yet because, the mess. So we'll see. I would say never stop learning, never stop studying, and never stop in general. So if it's like a slow season like it is now, find ways to still be creative and exercise that muscle. Maybe like what you did, Sammie. You got the table reads going, right? So Sammie found scripts of plays and would send it out to fellow actors she knew like me, and then we would attend a Zoom call and we would read the different characters and act it out, which was a fantastic thing. Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So do stuff like that, I guess. Grinchmas is really hard. Yeah, that's another thing. Like with Grinchmas, one thing about scaring people is like, yeah, you're on, but you're not like forcing a smile kind of on. So if you're having a bad day, you could transfer it into a scare. But with Grinchmas, all eyes are on you all the time, and you're in a really crowded area with little kids, and you got to be sure to entertain and be happy and be that character all the time kind of thing, versus scaring where it's like, I'm having a bad day, I'm going to take it out on you.
Different kinds of therapy.
Exactly. Scaring's my therapy. And I do love kids, and I would have loved to work Grinchmas, but it is like first off, the casting, they only cast maybe like, what, 12 people for Who's?
Yeah, it's small.
It's small versus like the 1,000 that they cast for scare acting. With scare acting, you have more room because it's the whole park versus like this one section of the park. Mm-hmm. So, Bubba asks what sorority he's Sigma Nu.
Oh, Delta Zeta.
Nice.
Yeah.
Delta Zeta. I was not in a sorority, but I was almost asked to at least get in the recruiting process for one, and I was like, why? And then they showed me a picture of all the girls in it, and they were all blonde, and I'm like, that's why.
Oh, no.
They're all blonde white girls, and I'm like,
I get it now.
you know, no. I just graduated from an all-girls school. I don't want to be part of a sorority. It's just for me, you know. I kind of think sometimes like maybe I would want to do like a co-ed frat or something like that, but
that would be awesome.
I also went to a party school, and I've been to a frat party, and there was this one girl who was chasing me around because I brought my own wine because I don't trust all of y'all with what you all bring in, so I'm bringing my own stuff. And she was like, you have to give me the wine. And I'm like, no, I don't. I brought it myself. She's like, but it's the frat's wine, so you have to. And I'm like, first off, I brought this. It's mine. I don't have to do anything. And she's like, give me the wine. And she grabs it. I'm like, no. And then I ran away like a little girl.
That's kind of scary. What?
She was very drunk and intimidating. And I'm like, I don't like this. So then I ran into a guy, and he was like, it's okay, I'll protect you. I'm like, no, stranger danger everywhere I go. And then I ran home, and I was like, this is much better with my wine. I don't want to party ever again. So, anyway, that's not scaring related. It was just scary. Bubba goes, oh shit, Data Zelta! Ha ha ha. I don't know why I deepened my voice. It sounded nothing like you, but it was just, I went with my instinct. Sasu Insanity, thank you for your inspiration to flesh out characters and really learn yourself before auditioning. Yeah, you're welcome. Try. Script reads, that's an awesome idea. It was Sammie's idea. Yes, but I do not have friends. Make friends. I don't have advice for this because I don't know people either. I made friends through scaring, actually. Like, all these people I'm interviewing, most of them are strangers. I gotta be honest, I never met them in a day of my life. I just know that they also work my hunt. So I was like, hey, stranger,
she posted and we all flocked.
Can I interview you? Like Paul. Paul was the first one I interviewed, and we had never actually met. I knew Bubba. We met at, not scaring, but one of the Scareactor after parties at Hell at the Moon. Yeah, so that's where I met Bubba. And of course, I met you through children's theater of all things. Yep. Ricky, I met, is like the only one I met while scaring so far of the people I've interviewed. It's really funny. But I have so many people on my schedule right now who booked interview slots, and I was like, I don't know you.
No.
I don't know you, but I'll ask you the same questions and hope to God that you're willing to chat with me a bit, so it's not just me the whole time. If it was an official party, there are tons of regulations. Yeah, it was not official party. Teenagers and college parties. Oh, we weren't teenagers. We were in our 20s.
Oh, yeah, we were in college.
Yeah, we were in college. It was not teen. I mean, late. I don't know how old they were. I was 21 at least. I drank responsibly. I am introverted. Me too. I fake it till I make it.
I would like to be an extrovert, but I'm not.
You're not? I always viewed you as an extrovert. No. That's funny.
I get so drained when there's a lot of energy going on, but I'm like, oh, but I just love people, but I don't have the energy.
You're an extroverted introvert like me.
Yes.
We are the same.
Yep.
It's like, I love seeing people every once in a while, but get the hell away from me after I've reached my limit, please.
Also, let me cuddle with my dog and grab some wine and just watch a movie, you know? Yes. It sounds like a great night. Yeah,
that does sound like a great night. I just cuddle my cats. I have this really fat cat, and every once in a while he's my cuddle bud. He's gotten big. I'm like, oh my God. And he's not fat. He's just a big boy. I took him to the vet, and I was like, how do I make him lose weight? And the vet's like, I wouldn't, because yeah, he's big, but he's just a big cat. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love seeing your cats in the very few TikToks that they're in.
Tulip is
Very
my little
cute.
model. Like she will let me do anything, and she's just so prim and proper, and she's just like, I will sit when you tell me to sit, and I will paw at you. Oh, she's so cute because you like hold your hand out, and she'll come to you and be like, sniff the hand. I want pets, and then bring her body along your hand.
Oh.
I tried to teach her high five, and she got it a little bit after this, but when I
Did she?
started, she was like, hand, pet. Like, and she would.
Like, okay, we'll go with it.
It's
All right.
cute, but it's not what I wanted. But Buckaroo, there is no help in that cat. I mean, he knows how to sit, but he needs the treat incentive. And there's no putting a costume on him. I could at least dress up Tulip as the bat. And I tried to put the hat on her, but she like, I don't know if you saw that TikTok, but I put the hat on her, and I had to like quickly snap the picture because she'd be like, what's that? And it would just fly off her head. But with Buckaroo, he would like attack it. He was just like, get it off, Mom. No, Mom.
Poor Buckaroo.
But when he gets tired, he will just flop down on my lap and start aggressively purring and look up at me like, you gonna pet me? I want pets right now. Cuddle me. And he started cuddling Glenn, which is really cute. Like, he chooses Glenn over me now sometimes. And I'm like, go cuddle with Dad. It's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. You could just cuddle up with him. It's fine. Anyway, back to scaring.
Oh, yeah.
Scareactor stories. We're scare actors and we're telling stories. I never specifically said they would be about scare acting. That's on you guys.
Stories.
You thought I could stay on topic?
Like cats and dogs.
You don't know me at all. Okay. I think time's almost up. I would love to hear some more of your favorite stories. Have you scared any celebrities in your time?
Ooh, yeah. Celebrities are fun. Well, most of them.
Most of them. Tell us some of that. Dish the tea. Girl.
Okay. So I think, I told you this one before, but Selena Gomez, I think was my absolute favorite. She was so cute. She walked through our zone area and she's just like all curled up like this next to her friend. She's just smiling and giggling. And I got like super close up and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm this close to Selena Gomez. But she's just like laughing and having a good time. Let's see, Selena Gomez, the Kardashian clan came through. I don't know if they came through. That was the year that was your first year when they came through.
I believe I heard that they were going through, but my head was in a grindstone most of the time, so I didn't actually get to see many people go by, unfortunately.
They came through.
Yeah.
But the one that I laugh at the most, I think, is Ashley Tisdale.
Really? I love her. I want to meet her.
She was so funny because she comes through and she's just, you can tell she's trying to figure out, like, what is going on? Like, she had that look on her face, like, what?
What did you think at a haunt, Ashley? You're going to a haunt.
It was the funniest thing. Do you watch, have you ever seen Jane the Virgin?
No, I've been recommended that show, but I haven't seen it yet, no.
Her dad, the guy that plays her dad, Rogelio, he came through and I was like, my God, it's the guy from Jane the Virgin. And he's just like screaming and just like running around. I think him and Selena Gomez are my favorite.
Aww.
They were just both so excited to be there. But I think overall for the event, Ariana Grande.
Why?
Because she goes multiple times during the year. Like,
she loves to go through that, yeah.
Oh my gosh, she had to have a pass or something because she came all the time to the point where she would recognize the characters and who she met before. Aww. And then she would go to our break space and hang out with us.
No way.
Yeah. I was sad I was not on break during that time, but I know.
I was just going to ask, like, you hung out with her?
I personally didn't, and I was so sad I didn't get to. But she would hang out in the break spaces of some of the mazes and zones and stuff.
Oh, that's so cool.
She goes so much.
Yeah. I wanted to scare Abigail Breslin. Do you know who she is?
Yes.
Because I wouldn't say I'm friends with her. I'm acquaintances in real life with her. Like, I'm Facebook friends with her and her brother Spencer and her mom. Her mom comments on my stuff all the time. It's so cool.
That's cute.
Her mom's name is Kim. She's the sweetest thing on the goddamn planet. But Abby, she's so nice. Like, she's so, like, down to earth, too. So I met her at one of my friends' parties. And I talked to her a little bit, and I explained, like, oh, I'm a scare actor for Halloween Horror Nights. Sorry if, like, I still have makeup on from it, you know? And she was like, oh, yeah, I did that. And I'm like, yeah, you do the VIP tour thing, right? And she's like, I mean, yeah, but I'm not a VIP, and I wouldn't call myself a celebrity, you know? And I'm like,
Oh,
but people know who you are. So, yeah, you're a celebrity. You're like a child star. And she's like, I know. And I'm like, you are the sweetest thing. And I was like, well, tell me more about the experience going through and everything. And she was like, oh, you know, I went through the haunt and it was fun and Scareactors were really great. And I got scared here. My boyfriend got scared here. And I got to meet her boyfriend too. They're really cool. Yeah, it was just like, I don't know what's different from the celebrity go-throughs versus the not celebrity people going through. And she would not give me any information because she was trying to downplay it. Like, bless her heart. She was just like, I'm not a celebrity.
So sweet.
And I'm like, okay, but you got what is called the celebrity treatment. I want to know what that is. Can you tell me? And she's like, I just went through the mazes. I'm like, everyone goes through the mazes, Abby. Give me a little more information. What is different?
I want the tea. Give me the details.
I want to know. But she's so sweet.
She's super
she's so nice. And I got to meet her brother too, and he's really nice. He's married now, has a kid. It's cool. It's cool. But her mom brought like 2 cakes for my friend's birthday. It's like, one's vanilla, one's chocolate in case I didn't know what people wanted. So I got two cakes. I'm like,
wow.
And I'm like, hi, I'm Josh's friend. And she's like, oh, it's very nice to meet you. And I'm like, you birthed celebrities. Oh my God. Like, I grew up watching your kids. That sounds so creepy, but it's true.
But it is true. Isn't that crazy to
like
think
if
about?
anyone doesn't know who I'm talking about, Spencer Breslin, you might know him a little more than Abby. Like growing up, she was in stuff. But if you've watched The Santa Claus, that classic movie with Tim Allen, in the second one, Spencer plays one of the elves, one of the main elves.
Oh, stop.
And he was in Cat in the Hat. I don't know if, with Mike Myers, as the cat. He was the kid in it.
Oh my God.
With Dakota Fanning. Abigail Breslin, she's more known now for like I think she was in Zombieland, I think it's called. I haven't seen the movie myself, and Scream Queens, I believe. And she just did Zombieland 2 a little while ago. But yeah, I don't know what the celebrity treatment is, and I got to talk to one in person and ask, and she wouldn't tell me, and I'm a little upset at that.
But I want the details.
I want the details too. The only details I know, I was friends with one of the celebrity photographers.
Ooh, okay.
His name is Mike, I believe. I'm not like friends, I'm more like acquaintances, because as I was in the zone with the where the celebrities would take their photo with one of the scare actors, and I was one of the scare actors that would take a photo with them. I did it like once, maybe twice. Didn't know either of the celebrities at all. I don't know who it was. I need to look up the name of the one guy because I don't know him at all, but maybe people in the chat know. Until they were like, your dress is too similar to Disney, because I was the Cinderella wolf with the blue dress. And they were like, we can't have you in photos anymore. I'm sorry. I'm like, but celebrities, I want to meet them. So they called the other wolf instead. And I was like, give me details. I want details. Oh my God. But I talked to the photographer, and the only thing I know for sure about the celebrity agreement is part of the agreement is that they take that photo and they have to post it to all their social media and leave it up there until the haunt is done, at least. Like they have to keep it up there for a certain amount of time before, if they choose to take it off, they can, but you cannot take it down before that time is up. Otherwise, they're going to get in trouble. So,
interesting.
Yeah. And I don't know who did it, but a celebrity took it down before that point, and the photographer was like, yeah, they're in trouble. They're in trouble because they did that. And I was like, I don't know what kind of trouble that is. It's very vague, but okay. And even if I knew, I couldn't tell you all either, because it's like, hush, hush.
Yeah.
But yeah, so celebrities go through Halloween Horror Nights, and most of them are so fun, and they're just there to have a good time. Every so often, you're gonna get one of those celebrities that are just like,
yeah. Few and far between. Most of them are great, though.
Yeah, most of the yes, definitely. I wish I had more like celebrity interactions to talk about. The most interesting one I have is JoJo Siwa that I talked about on one of my TikToks.
Yes, I remember this story.
And for those who don't know the story and don't know JoJo Siwa is known for Dance Moms. She was one of the dancers on Dance Moms, and her whole look, like her icon look, is like a very tight, very high ponytail off the side of her head there with a big bow that's just bedazzled, like, oh, so much. And she dresses like very bright colors, and she's just like very kid friendly, talented dancer. And she came through Halloween Horror Nights, and I literally just turned around as the wolf, and there was a mini little JoJo Siwa going, ah! And like just running around being so like her classic energetic self. But she kind of scared me a little bit doing that, because I was literally just turning around and I was like, oh my god, wait, what's that, JoJo Siwa? Like, it was weird. I was like,
yeah, that girl has so much energy.
I just don't know how she does it.
So
I guess
much energy.
it disappears with age as I get older. I'm just like, no.
I know, I'm like,
Bubba says Elizabeth Taylor and Michael Jackson's kids used to always come through.
Aww.
Oh, I love Michael Jackson. I would love to meet his kids. I want to meet Parrish. And Elizabeth Taylor, I grew up loving her too, and they were besties when they were alive.
Yeah.
And then Bubba, probably banned from any more free ticks. Yeah, that's probably the... Yeah. So if a celebrity takes down their photo too early, they're probably banned from the celebrity treatment in the future, because they didn't honor the agreement the first time, so why would they honor it in the future?
Exactly.
Dank Zach plays, you have a haunt name, I think you mean like, kind of like a stage name? No? I don't. No. We just go in, audition, get hopefully cast, and then we go out as whatever character we're assigned and have fun. Halloween Horror Nights, Universal Studios Hollywood. Yes. I don't know if you're like answering someone's question from before. I don't know. They give them free tickets for those social media pics. Okay. My buddy goes through with Travis Barker and his kids and their friends every year. Okay. Okay, that'd be awesome. They freaking haul them around the park in big SUVs. See, Bubba's the guy to go to. He knows all this stuff. And then probably banned from any more free pics. How did you come up with all your characters like Steampunk Cat? Oh, that's specifically me for my TikTok.
I do wonder this too, so it's a great question.
I'll use Steampunk Kitty as an example. My headphones won't stretch far enough. Hold on. I have a mess in here.
Okay. Oh, ooh, yes.
Steampunk Kitty is very dusty. I need to clean her off. This is how I made that character. I was given this mask. This is a mirror, by the way. So that's a mirror, and I taped green paper to it. And it's not really a fun story, but I'll tell it anyway. My sister gave this to me for my birthday one year, and I went, why?
And now look, you made great use
and
of
she's
it.
like, oh, no, you like costumes, right? Here. Thank you. I appreciate the gift. I have no idea what to use this for.
It all started with a mask from your sister.
It really did, though. At least for this character, it absolutely did. I've created the character around this random mask my sister gave me because I don't know. And then
You're
the reason... Huh?
Resourceful and creative. Look at you.
Thank you. So I was like, I need to create a character around this. Obviously, this is very steampunk-esque, so what kind of steampunky stuff do I have? Oh, I know. I have this, like, red skirt that's very, like... And I have a bunch of corsets. Let's get a brown one because it goes with kind of like the bronzish color here. And then I have this one shirt that I wear to the Renaissance Fair all the time. It's like my only like pirate-esque looking shirt. So I always dress like a pirate. So I just kind of like dressed like a pirate in a way. I don't know. I just like grabbed random stuff I had in my closet for other costumes and just made that. And then with the paint, I was like, I just want to make myself look more robotic. I've never like painted my face like that before, so it was all trial and error and guesswork. And I was just like, yeah, that looks about right. Yeah, that looks about right. Good enough. Let's make some TikToks. And then this was a mirror, so I was like, people are gonna see me in my TikToks filming, they're gonna see my phone, like the reflection of my phone. I'm gonna cover it up with something. Oh, I know. I'll cover it up with a green poster board that I have lying around. Like I had a green folder, and I cut a little hole in that, taped it in,
So smart.
and then I used it like a green screen so I could edit it out.
Okay, that's cool.
So I don't know if you're familiar with Steampunk Kitty, but if anyone's interested in that particular cosplay, scroll down like till last year. Because nowadays cosplay does not do well on TikTok. I don't know if anyone's noticed my numbers lately, but they are absolutely flopping with all of my cosplays. No matter how much work I put into it or how creative I am, they are all flopping compared to what it was last year. And I think the algorithm is pushing cosplayers out, even though we made that app, man. So...
They really like your stories, though.
Huh?
Scareactor Stories are doing great.
Thank you. They're doing okay. Like a lot of them are doing good. I'm trying to get more creative. Like the like common reactions in a haunt is doing really well. So I'm gonna do a few more of those. But like stories in general are doing only okay. Because the algorithms changed. And the way I got this all started, in case anyone is interested in my TikTok career in any way, I was completely unknown because of my cosplay. I had like I think I reached like 6,000 or 7,000 followers from my cosplay, but that was after like 6 or 7 months of working just with my cosplay and on TikTok and like uploading every day and trying to get that going. And some of them got some attention, but overall I was averaging maybe like 40 likes on a cosplay, which was like good for me. And then Halloween rolled around and I was like, I'm a scare actor, I'm a cosplayer, and I don't have a costume ready to upload to TikTok on Halloween. What am I going to do? I need to do something for Halloween. So I was like, Scareactor Stories. I'll just tell some random Scareactor Stories. Video for Halloween. Put it away. Oh, my boyfriend's here. Let's go carve some pumpkins. And as we're carving pumpkins, I'll like check TikTok every once in a while and be like, it's got 17,000 likes. This is my most liked video. And I'll put it down. Put a 45,000 likes. I just hit 11,000 followers. And it just like kept growing from there for a little bit. I hit like 26,000 from that video alone. So I got like 20,000 followers from that video alone. It's got a little over 200K likes. And that was like how it all started. So I was like, people are demanding more. Okay, so I'll just give the people what they want. So that's how it started, because I was unprepared.
I love that, though.
Yeah, that's
so great. I love when things happen like that. You're just like, oh, I guess I'm just gonna go with it then.
And I'm gonna be a little bitter here. Of course, count your blessings. I'm very happy with the following I have. You guys are all great. Thank you for getting me where I am. Like, that is amazing. I did not ever expect it. But I will be a little petty, a little bitter. When I started telling Scareactor Stories, other Scareactors caught on to that on the app, and they started posting videos of them scaring, which is great. I don't have those. I don't have videos of me scaring, so I have nothing to put up for that. And now there are scare actors with like 500,000 followers just because they caught on. I don't want to credit myself entirely. Like, they probably thought of that themselves, but I'm just a little jealous because I don't have the content they have. I did not film myself scaring because I never thought this would happen. And I was so hoping that this year at Haunt, I would be able to have someone film me so I could start doing that. And then the mess happened and I'm like, I'm irrelevant.
I don't really have any videos either. I never really ask anybody to film me all that much.
You don't really think of it, really, especially for Universal, because like we're not saying anything. We're in the same character all the time. And then with Not Scary Farm, I believe they have their own makeup and costumes. So
that's what I heard. Yeah.
They also have an advantage for TikTok purposes with that, because they'll have videos of them in that same makeup and costume scaring on the streets. And then they could take it home and do some like lip syncs with it. We don't have that. We have to return our costumes at the end of the day.
Every last bit of it.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, geez, I'm a little disadvantaged here, but count blessings. I'm at 150K now. So
congrats.
Thank you. Let's get you there too.
Yay!
So that's how I came up with Steampunk Kitty. That's kind of how I come up with all my costumes. A lot of guesswork. It's like, I like this character. I'm going to do my best to make a costume. Like Harley Quinn was very planned. Like I made a pattern. I did it myself. Like that was based off the comics and the animated series. But like my Joker cosplay, gender bent cosplay, it's like I have a green wig. I have a purple and orange corset. Makeup. I guessed it. I was live on TikTok when I did that too. I was like, does that look, that looks like, I don't want to fix it, so it's fine.
Yeah, we'll leave it.
I'm just like, I had no plan going in with makeup. Shadow bans are the worst. I don't know if I'm shadow banned. I think I'm just irrelevant, to be honest. Yeah.
And you don't even know if you're shadow banned. You just notice it one day, I think.
I was shadow banned briefly. And I knew it was a shadow ban because it hit 72 likes exactly within 20 minutes and then did not grow for 2 days. Like not a single like or comment more.
Wow.
And that's how you know like a video itself has been shadow banned. I don't know how to tell when you yourself have been shadow banned, but that video was shadow banned because like, come on, it just froze at 72 for days. Not a single person more when I average at least a couple thousand on that kind of video. Like that one got shadow banned. And then Sasu and Sandy, my numbers shot up with my OCs lately, but still like it honestly depends on the audios. I swear it does. You have to get really creative. You got to do like, you got to hit the trends, but also just get really creative with other sounds. And my OCs don't do as well as like known characters. So I try and do a mix. Baba, like a nickname. We don't have nicknames. We don't have stage names. I don't know what that means.
Stage names.
Sasu and Sandy goes, Doggo! Would you like to introduce your dog?
This is Cedric.
He's so cute.
He's a bit needy. He likes the cuddles.
Oh, he's just so cute. Bubba, not that never caught on at Universal and characters are assigned. Yep. Yeah, no one really filmed. The only thing I know someone caught on film was my confusion as a wolf when someone handed me their hatchet. Sasu and Sandy, I'll get to that story, but Sasu and Sandy goes, "Hi, Cedric, you are a wonderful bean."
The bean!
The bean! He's the bean! So the story behind that was, I think Diamond and Star were going through and recording some people just for like, I don't know if it was Snapchat or whatever, so I don't think anyone still has the video, but they showed me off like in backstage area. But what happened was Jeff, one of the stilt walkers who had a prop hatchet, comes up to me and he towers over me with his stilts, and we can't talk to each other, so I have no idea what he's thinking. And I'm a wolf, and like we kind of had this agreement that the wolves are the stilt walkers' minions, so they could like send him off to do their bidding or whatever. So I like ran up like a dog to Jeff, and then he goes down and he like pats my head and then hands me his hatchet, and I take it, and I can't wrap my claws around it because my claws are plastic, and this was like the most movement I could have in my claws. So I'm like gently holding this hatchet, trying to grip around it, but can't really get a grip around it. So I'm running around like this.
That's so funny.
With a hatchet, and like a wolf having a hatchet is a very confusing thing because we have claws, we don't need a hatchet. So I'm like going around trying to scare people with a hatchet, and they're just like, huh? And I'm like, they're more confused than scared. Jeff, take your prop back, sir. Why did you give this to me? So I go up to him to give back his hatchet, and he just looks down, pats my head, and then walks away, taking very long strides because he is very tall in those stilts, and I'm just like,
I don't know what to do. I love Jeff.
I don't know what to do with this hatchet. So then Star and Diamond go through and they're recording this, and I see the video is they're walking through the zone. They see Jeff walking away on the stilts, and they flip the camera to me, and I'm like holding a hatchet and like walking very slowly toward the camera and just go like,
I don't know.
Like, that's it. That's the whole video. It's just me going like,
I don't know what to do with this.
I was not meant to have this prop. Why did you give this to me? Like, I can't hold it.
Oh, I love switching props. Switching props is so much fun.
Are you allowed to do that though? Because you're assigned a prop.
No, but
gotcha.
Don't do it, kids.
Have you ever broken a prop?
I have. I've broken 2 props on accident.
What happened?
First one, it was this year too. It was when I first started in the Us maze, we had the scissors, but right where the hinge was, because it was all just plastic. It was very thin plastic, so even just gripping and pretending to hit people with it, it just broke in my hand. I was like,
you don't know your own grip strength, you know?
I'm so sorry. And then my rolling pin broke. They actually had to tape up the handle. There was this rod that went through, but it didn't go through all the way. And the way I handled my rolling pin was I'd whip it around like a nunchuck.
I saw that on TikTok. You posted about that. Like, I was like, how does she do that? That's real talent right there. Like, I couldn't make it look so effortless.
And because the rod didn't go all the way through on the handle, where it stopped, that's where the foam just broke off. And I was like, sorry.
Oopsie.
They started doing strikes against actors now. So they like mark 3 strikes and you don't have your prop anymore. So they keep track.
Yeah, which is good. Because sometimes props just break or a guest breaks it, like it's out of your control as the actor, so it's good that they give like a few strikes to give like a little buffer for that. But I've definitely seen actors get a little too rough with their props, and I'm just like, no. Have you ever seen an actor on their phone while people went through?
Have I don't think I have.
Because I know on Terror Tram there was one actor who had his phone. He hated his role so much that he was just like in place, just on his phone as guests were going through, and he was just like, whatever.
Oh my god.
And you know what they did? They should have fired him. Instead, they put him in a different maze. The maze he wanted and the role he wanted.
Oh, so then he worked hard.
And then he worked harder. So it's like, okay, but also unfair.
Like,
it's like, I don't really want this role either because it's hurting my back. I wear this weird mask. Like, I'm not a scary thing. I'm just a distraction. But you don't hear me complaining about it. I'm not on my phone. Like, how disrespectful.
I can't believe that.
Dangsack plays, what's your favorite costume you wear as a Scareactor or as a cosplayer?
Great question.
Yeah. What was your favorite costume to wear of the costumes you wore?
Masquerade.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
As a Scareactor. I liked the wolf because it looks most intimidating. I didn't like wearing it. Okay, so what's your favorite costume to wear? If I didn't have the claws and the mask, definitely the wolf, because the leotard was really comfortable, and the dress and the boots and stuff, like that was really comfortable. It was just the mask and the gloves I had an issue with. Other than that, when I worked the Haunted Hornet, I was a different character every night, so I don't remember a lot of the costumes, but I think they let me wear my own sweatpants once. And they just gave me an oversized button-up shirt. And then they did my makeup like a crazy clown, and it was all like, it was airbrushed on. So I didn't even feel like I was wearing makeup, but I looked really creepy, and I was just in this very comfortable, like I kind of wanted to sleep in it. It was like super comfortable to move in. Yeah, so I liked to wear that, but as far as like feeling cool and feeling scary, I take it all back. The Purge one that I wore, the American flag dress, because it was comfortable, easy to move in, and I felt like a character rather than the sweatpants and the shirt. It felt like just, here you go. That one actually felt like a character. It was easy to move in. Yeah, it got some attention, but that was part of the character, and you work with it. So I'd say that. Sorry, that was a long answer. I was just trying to find the answer.
Trying to find your way.
It was just like a big circle going around. Great America, based on what I've seen of my friends' Facebook videos and whatnot, they let you completely create your characters. Like a friend was Peter Pan in the Toy Factory maze. Another was a small clown.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I love places that you get to do your own stuff, or at least create your own character, and then they hire makeup artists to do it, because I don't know how to do my own makeup. It's a lot of guesswork. But if I told like Megan or Liz or some of the other, or Amanda or some of the other makeup artists that were on set with me, say like, hey, I want to be this kind of character. And they were like, dope, let's do it.
Yes.
I would be so for it. It's like, yeah, please do me up as this. Oh, I just want to be a crazy clown so bad. Dangsack plays. If they did wolf makeup, would you love it? Wolf makeup is hard. You need prosthetics because otherwise you just look silly.
Oh, yeah. Prosthetics, teeth.
With the teeth, nose, and the forehead were the prosthetics, I believe, for the wolf girls, and the ears. And they got to keep their teeth, which is cool. I mean, what are they going to do with it anyway? So,
right.
So, of course, like, give it to the actor. It was form-fitted to them. I actually bought wolf teeth online. I just have to form-fit it to my mouth, and then I've got wolf teeth. I'm going to try and make my own prosthetics and make my own wolf character. Because I don't have my wolf stuff from scare acting, and everyone's like, do the wolf character. I'm like, I don't have it, you guys. It's not like Knots. It's not like other haunts where you get to be your own character and make your own costume and stuff and just do that. I don't have anything, and it's expensive. So join my Patreon and buy me a coffee on Coffee and PayPal and stuff if you want to help me stay creative. Go. Ah, shameless plug. Sassy Insanity, beware the small scareactors. Sure, Michaels are lumbering and towering. The small ones you don't expect as much. True.
Listen, the small ones, they're quick, okay? They come out of nowhere. I love them.
Thanks for joining Dank Zach Plays. He says, well, have a good rest of your day. I'm off to sleep for work. Bye. Have a good night. Thank you for joining us. We're about to wrap up here. I think we're about good. I don't know if any other fun scares you've done. Like you've seen my TikTok, so you know kind of the structure of my Scareactor stories. Do you have anything like those that you want to tell?
I'll tell you one it wasn't a scare that I had, but it's something that genuinely scared me.
Okay.
So I'll tell you this story real quick. So it was masquerade. I was out on the street running around, and all of a sudden I hear this girl just screaming, like blood curdling screams. And I was like, oh, like someone got her good. And I went to like turn around. She wasn't scared. She was hurt. Yeah. So this is the only time I've ever seen anybody hurt. And what happened was she was running out of the maze into the street, but she was running while turning around, and her ankle hooked onto a scare actor's foot and twisted, and it actually broke.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's the scariest thing I think that I've seen personally.
That's too real a scare, though. That's real. Like, the fun with haunts is that they're, like, ultimately you're in a safe environment. Sammie, you froze again. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I feel like I hear you.
Yeah, it's like I see myself a little bit.
That's so
I don't
weird.
know. Oh, so sorry if I cut you off because I wasn't hearing anything on your end.
No,
you were frozen.
She was well taken care of. But
that's good.
I was like, what do we do in this kind of situation? I don't know.
It's funny you say that because it's like they tell us to get a supervisor, but ultimately we don't really know what to do other than fill out an incident report. That's about all you can do.
Oh, wait, no, you haven't been have you been in a maze, or maybe the Blumhouse one when the e-stop goes?
No, I have not. I've worked in like an attraction before, but it wasn't like a haunt, but it was an attraction where the fire alarm goes off or the e-stop happens. And especially when the fire alarm went off. I'll let you continue, but this is a funny story. So we're trained at that place where if the fire alarm goes off, I worked in an attraction. Let me start at the beginning. I worked at an attraction. It's called the San Francisco Dungeon. If you've ever been to Madame Tussauds, the wax museum, it's owned by the same company. There are dungeons in like big major areas, like big major cities that have a lot of history to it. And the original one, the main one, is in London, which I got to see, and it was super cool. Mine was the San Francisco one. So you go room to room to room, and you get monologued at by characters like me, and it's somewhat interactive theater, but it's like each room is about like 5 to 7 minutes, and it tells a short blip of San Francisco's history. But it's this dark theatrical experience, so it's like the dark history. And they just kind of like form-fitted the London script to try and fit San Francisco, because it's like The plague never came here, but there's a plague room. Yes, it technically did come here. One Chinese man got it like 80 years ago. The plague was here. And it's like, yeah, but it hasn't been here since. So why do we include it in the attraction? Oh, it's because of the plague in London. Got it. Yeah, okay. You guys just love London so much and you're trying to bring it to San Francisco. Okay. And we have an Alcatraz room. Yeah, we should. It's San Francisco.
Right there, yeah.
So you start off and you go room to room to room. And we have like the Gold Rush, gangs, court, which is like a judge like sentencing you to like, and it's a good mix of comedy and scares. So some rooms are more comedic, some rooms are more dark. And my favorite room was Miss Pigot's room. She was the madam of a brothel house. And you get shanghaied by her. So she sells you to a ship where you do free labor for the rest of your life. And she's so funny because her whole thing, I would put this big bun, lopsided bun on my head and slightly loose. So every time I wiggled my head, it would like wiggle with me. And it was like this tight green corset long dress. And the way I would speak, you've seen my Anastasia when we did Cinderella for Children's Theater. Essentially that character. So she would open the door and everyone's at her door. She's like, oh, you gave me such a scare there, but you're so cute. I'm going to forgive you. Come on in, my brother. I mean my bar. Hi, come on in. And then I do my speech and stuff. And she's very comedic. So she'll go from like, very like nice, how are you, and you again, you know, and she'll like switch from that every once in a while. And I loved those comments of like to interact with the audience. You test them and you're like, all right, well, I guess I won't Shanghai you if you here will tell me where my brandy bottle is. And it's always a man that you have to call, like that's Saddle Boy. So you call Saddle Boy and you're like, where's my brandy bottle? And of course, every single time the guy's like, up your skirt. Happens so many times that I had a go-to response like, sir, you should know better than everyone else here. We don't do that anymore. Where's my brandy bottle? You know? Like, and then someone would be like, in your boobs. And I'm like, you really think there's room in here? Not enough here for that. Where's my brandy bottle? And you just like do that until they actually answer. And then you're like, wrong, it's my opium. You're getting shanghaied. In that show, in that character, the fire alarm goes off.
Oh no.
And we are trained to stay in character while directing everyone across the street to the safe zone. Oh. And here's the thing. We shared a building with the Rainforest Cafe and McDonald's. And they set that thing off so many freaking times. I'm the lucky one that only had this happen once. I cannot imagine like doing another character as this, like gangs or something. Like I mean, they're more authoritative, so I guess so. But we were supposed to stay in character that whole time, and we have no idea how long it's going to be until we get back in there. So in character, I'd be like, the lights come on. During the part where all the lights had to be pitch black off in order for this effect to work. So Shanghai Kelly, the one shanghaiing everyone, is supposed to be walking around the room. It's lost sound effects along the chairs that people are sitting in. And then all of a sudden the lights come on and I'm Miss Pigott like in the center of the stage. I'm like, Shanghai Kelly is a ghost? Oh no, let's get out of here. It's haunted. Follow me.
So creative.
Let's get out of, whoa, where's this hallway been my whole life? Like, and then you run into other characters like this really gruff guy, Tom. He is like the gangs guy. Like he has the voice and the look for it. Like he's got the scruff and everything. And I'm like, well, hello, handsome. He's like, don't look at me like that. I'm like, I'm going to look at you any way I want. He's like, are you going to pay? And I'm like, you want to be one of my girls? Like, and we're just like improving back and forth in character. And then there's like the judge, and I'm like, oh, judge, oh no, you know, like, and we're trying to get all these hundreds of people outside in this one area. Everyone's in this one area, and it's raining in San Francisco. Why that day? So we're in the rain. And I'm like, I'm melting. I'm like, oh wait, no, I'm not that sinful yet. like I'm like just trying to improv, and like you have to interact with the people and keep them entertained. And How do you interact as like a madam of a brothel house with a bunch of strangers in the rain outside with other San Franciscans walking by, not aware that the dungeon even exists? So they're like, who are these entertainers? Like,
what's going on here?
What's going on?
And then they join.
Oh my god. I would not count that as a haunt, but that is definitely like one of the funniest things that happened to me, where it's like the e-stop kind of thing, like you said.
That's so different than what we have.
Please tell me what it's like in a haunt setting, like a maze setting, when the e-stop goes off, because I have no idea.
We literally abandoned ship, like. So I've never had it where it's because of like a fire or anything like that. Usually it's something technical, accidentally set it off, or I've had it where a guest actually was having a seizure in the middle of the maze. So what usually happens is all the scare actors, we have like our little safety meeting point. Mm-hmm. We all meet there and we take roll call to make sure we have everybody. And then, because we have maze hosts. Maze hosts are the ones that guide the guests out of the maze. They usually bring them back around to the entrance. That way they can go through again because their experience was disrupted.
Right.
And then security or whoever they need to call, depending on the problem, they come in and they resolve it. And then once everything's cleared up and back and running, we go back into our positions.
That's so much better than having like awkwardly stand around while this thing is happening and staying in character the whole time. Like,
we're like, the lights are on? Ah, man. And then we just go to our little meeting point.
I just imagine you all scatter like cockroaches as soon as the lights come on. Like,
yeah, that's literally how it is. Yeah, we're cockroaches.
Let's see. What are people saying? Tutorial, please. On what? I don't know I don't do like tutorial. I do experimental cosplay, which is when I do things I've literally never done before, or maybe I've seen one tutorial on and I try it myself. So if it doesn't work, learn from my mistakes. And if it does, you can use it as a tutorial. I only have one episode right now. I'm still trying to work out where to film it because right now I'm in the middle of a move. I don't know if you're aware of this. I'm moving to Anaheim. I'm moving in with Glenn.
Oh, stop. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm moving in with Glenn.
Congrats on moving in with Glenn.
Thanks. Yeah. I wish it was for a better reason than I just can't afford rent anymore.
But that's okay.
But we were planning on moving in together eventually anyway once he sold his house. I'm dating a homeowner.
Ooh,
it's not for a good reason, but he's a homeowner. So he's trying to sell his house, and once he gets money from that, he was going to use it to buy a really nice condo in Anaheim because he works for Disney, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we've been dating like a while, and I was hoping that we can move in together. And he was like, well, once I get a condo and a big enough space, by all means, let's live together. So like he's been asking me questions of like what I want in a place to live and et cetera, et cetera. But this was like toward the beginning of the year, and then the mess all happened, and it's been taking so long to sell the house. It's not even on the market yet. We had so much work to do on it. So I was like, I thought by July we would have a place and I would have been okay financially then. But because of the mess, I've had my hours cut and all my money from work goes to rent, and then I charge food to my credit card. So I'm like almost out of money.
I've been there.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, I could hold off until maybe July. And then July came and went, and I'm like, what's the status here? And we're not even on the market yet. So I was like, okay, either I move in with you or I move to Vegas in the middle of nowhere, kind of near my family, but away from friends and everything else. And that's going to be a tough move anyway. So it's like cheaper over there. And I don't want to move away from you, Glenn, and my friends and my career and everything. So
yeah,
can I move in with you? And he was like, yes, please. I'm like, oh, thank God. So we have a storage unit down in Anaheim with him. So I've been like slowly making trips out there to put stuff in storage. And then by next month, I'll be down there. So once I get settled, I won't be settled there, but once I get settled in the condo that we're eventually gonna get, maybe one day, we're gonna have like a specific room for media stuff. So that's where we're gonna do our live streams together. That's where I'm gonna film all my like self-tapes and all my other stuff. And I'm gonna have a go-to set. Where I'll like put up a backdrop and like a chair or something, and that is where I will film more experimental cosplay. So get ready for those tutorials, but that's not going to happen for a while. All my time is going to packing, moving, audiobook recording, because I still got to finish that before I leave. Otherwise, it's going to sound really
I forgot
different.
You did that. Oh,
Yeah,
That's
I need to finish my audiobook. I have like 20 chapters within 20 days, and that's not going to happen. So I need to record all the chapters at least before editing everything. I'm going to record all of them here so that they at least sound the same as the chapters I've already done. Because if I move and there's no recording space at his apartment, the chapters are going to sound different. So I'm going to try and at least record the bulk of it and then move, and then pickups. Fine. A sentence here and there sounding a little different. Fine. I just don't want the whole chapters to sound different. So I got work for that. Obviously my day job, and then these live streams and cosplay and stuff. So
wow, so busy. You got a lot going on.
I don't like it. It's nice to be busy. It's nice to have stuff going on, but I just want the move to be over. Yeah, so there's all that. Well, favorite haunt, whether it be big or small you have attended, favorite or funniest moment being scared.
I say my favorite haunt, it's actually not in California, it's in Indiana. And it's called the Haunted Schoolhouse. And why I like it is because it's more of like a fun house filled with puns.
Okay.
So cute and so funny. It's just like you go to this haunted schoolhouse, which it's actually in an abandoned schoolhouse.
Ooh.
Yeah, they tend to like to do that. Like a haunted jail is actually in an abandoned jail. But
I mean, if you have those kind of abandoned things just lying around, why not?
Why not use it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was so fun.
What are some of the puns? I'm confused.
It's mostly with the principal that you meet in the very beginning. So he's talking about like the science fair and the projects and like all these crazy things that are happening at the school. And I cannot remember because it's been years since I've been there. I'm going to go when I go to Indiana though.
Nice.
But yeah, you go in, you talk to the principal with like your little meet and greet, and he tells you about the school and like all their little projects and stuff like that they got going on. And then you just go into the fun house. I mean, it is kind of scary, but like you have to crawl and like kind of squeeze through things and walk through all white rooms with lots of fog in them. So it's like, try and find your way. It's cute.
So what's your opinion on working in fog? Because I get this question sometimes.
It's a love-hate relationship.
I agree.
It's a great tool to use and take advantage of. However, sometimes I hate it because it'll amp up the fog and there won't be any wind and you're just like hacking and dying.
It's tough to breathe, but if you could get a sense for it, it's fun to hide in. Yeah.
So much fun to use.
It's fun to use, but even sometimes I can't see and I'm just like, oh, there's a guest. Oh.
You get blinded by the fog and you're like, I really hope no one's coming.
Because everyone assumes the scare actor is like an expert in every environment that you come across. It's like, no, I cannot see in dark either. I am but human.
Stand still and be like, okay, I don't know where I'm at. Where is everybody?
Oh, they thought it was part of the scare that I was standing still in like a closet of fog. But no, I just didn't know where to go. But you ran into me and now you're scared. Ha ha.
Ha ha. My plan.
Joke's on you. I totally planned that. I knew someone was going to run into me right there at that time. Let's see. Favorite or funniest moment being scared?
Me being scared?
I assume so. They said being.
Probably Queen Mary.
Yeah.
I went there once, and this person, and now I know who she is because I have her on Facebook.
Nice.
She plays Scary Mary. So she got me so good because she's in this hallway. She's got like little knee pads and stuff like that on. So she's Scary Mary. She plays this little girl with like her teddy bear, and she's like crawling and contorting like in the hallway and just like sliding around. And when I first saw that, oh my God, it was an SYP moment because I did not expect that. I was like, what is happening? I like went on the ground. I was that person. I get so scared when I go in the haunted places though, or like attractions. Even though I'm a character, I still get really scared.
Well, I do the same thing. I play horror games and I get so scared, but I've learned the hard way that I'm a swear scared. Because I played Phasmophobia with my friends recently and I got killed and I was not expecting it. I just said the F-bomb so loud. I was like, oh, fuck. I didn't realize that. But I do get scared fairly easily going to haunts because it's fun to get scared. You know, I allow myself to get
fun.
scared. But I always tell people, they always think that we're desensitized to scares. Nothing can scare us. No. I love being a scare actor because I'm in control of the scares. I'm aware of the environment. I'm aware of what's going on. I don't like being, I do like being scared, but I get scared because I'm unfamiliar with what's going on.
People
Someone can
popping out of
totally get
places.
me, especially if like you're one of those bungee scare actors.
Oh my gosh, like they have at Knott's. Oh, I love those.
They had one of those at Great America when I went through, and it was a fantastic maze. It was all black light, so it was all like super bright neon colors going through. And you go through, and like even the actors are like colored in it too. And at the very end, this like you turn a corner and this guy just jumps out at you and is pulled back in with a bungee.
my
And I was
gosh.
just like, oh, that was so good. Like it got me, but it was so exciting. I loved it. Let's see, Queen Harley. It's hard to get followers on TikTok. Either that or I suck. It is hard. It's gotten
hard.
a lot harder. That's why everyone's like, bring back 2019 TikTok because it was a lot easier. It was a lot more fun. It's not as like competitive. And it's just the algorithm was different. So the algorithm now is just like, it's so hard. Either TikTok loves you or hates you. And right now it feels like a lot of hate. So it's like, oh geez, I feel like I'm crawling up. Yes, I'm still going up, but it's like so slow and it's so difficult and whatever. I'm complaining. But anyway, I love TikTok. I still love lip syncing. I love cosplay. Like I do the cosplay for me, but the Scareactor Stories is like the thing that gets attention. So it's like I try and balance it. This is more fun. I like just chatting with scare actors. I wish I could do this on TikTok. Oh my God. Yes. The dungeon. Which room were you? I was all of them. I got trained and cleared on all of them. So yes, I was the one greeting you, and that was one of my favorite ones because I loved working in the elevator. If you don't know what I'm talking about, San Francisco Dungeon, obviously when the mess is all cleared and hopefully it's still around. I was the greeter. I was, when they had Gold Rush, they don't really do that character anymore because it's such a throwaway character, but when they had a character for Gold Rush, what I would do is I would take my long hair, braid it in the front like a beard, and I would run in. I'd be like, gold, I got gold, I ain't got gold, what are you talking about? You know, just like hide it. And then you lead them into the mirror maze, and as I'm leading them in, you have to improv at that point. So I'd be like, if you see my husband, tell him I'm dead. You know, it's just like, and I loved that because it was just such a kooky character that you never see. And then gangs, I loved because I got to be a menacing character. And it's like, these are my tools. Don't talk when I'm talking. And I was just very authoritative. The trick to playing an intimidating character as a woman, like a gang member, that I learned through my experience. Men are authoritative as is. People tend to listen to them more. Unfortunately, we live in a sexist society, and that's just the case. A lot of women try and match that energy by shouting. So they'll be authoritative, like, get against the wall, go, go, go.
It's true. Yeah.
The trick is to whisper in their ear. Don't yell at them.
Opposite.
Whisper, because it forces them to have to listen to you. If they can't hear you, they're just like, what did you say? And I said, get against the wall now. Turn around. And like you stay your ground, but you pull back. My favorite thing to say as gangs was you have a cage, you have a cell, and you have to call upon someone in the audience, usually a woman, always a woman. You call the woman, and then the man that she's with. The man she's with is getting in the chair because he's getting the chappy chappa. The woman, though, is getting in the cell. So I go to her, and I'm like, are you a spy? She goes, no. And I go, that's exactly what a spy would say. Well, if you're really my friend, then you would know what my favorite color is. And keep in mind, my costume is a lot of blue and red. So they usually say either blue or red. But I also have a lot of plaid on me, a red plaid on me. So they'd say like blue, red, some other color. And I go, wrong. It's plaid. Get in the cell. Which they would never guess because plaid's not a color.
It's plaid.
It's wrong. It's plaid. You don't know me at all. You're a spy. Get in the cell. Then court. I hated court. I hated doing court. I hated court so much. I hated it. I hated it because you would have to speak very fast. There was no point in having a female in court because our excuse is that our husband has a lot of flatulence, so he can't be here today. So I told him to open a window and I'll get home after doing all his cases. Anyway, first one, you've been accused of this, this, and this. Anything to say? Wrong. You're going to jail. You, next up. Bah. And it's just bum, 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 bum. And it's not really interactive and it's a whole lot of script to memorize. And I had to memorize the buttons and I didn't like all the buttons. And then you're so far away from the people and whatever. Miss Piglet was my favorite. I talked about that. Nico. I did Nico once. I hated Nico. Nico was for the boat. We had a boat ride. It was not a boat ride. It was like a plank of wood with some things, more wood on the side, and we went like 50 feet in the water. My favorite was when the captain chimed in and they were like, they look like a weedy bunch. And I'm like, no, that was me. Sorry. San Francisco, you know. I had literally no character for that. I was called in last minute that day, and I'm like, yeah, I cleared the show, but I didn't develop a character yet. So I was like, all right, keep your hands, legs, head, butt, everything inside. Otherwise, what was it? I said, keep your hands and keep your head inside the boat, or else you'll get decapitated. Keep your butt inside the boat, or you'll get decapitated. Keep your hands and legs inside the boat, or you'll get decapitated. I don't want to be counting heads today. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want to be counting heads today. Let's go.
That's cute.
And then the last Plague. That was fun because you play this character that is obsessed with the plague. And my favorite was like there's a cadaver on the table. No. My favorite part was the first jump scare because you go in and you go, oh, come in. Oh, you definitely got it. Oh, you got it. Good. Oh, you just need a shower. Oh God, come on in. And they come in and then you hear some bells chiming and you slowly walk up and they see you and it's like a stage, right? And you're just like on the floor with them and you're just like, here, ding, ding, ding. And then the lights go completely black out. So it goes ding, ding, ding. You go up, you see someone, you just like, as if you're about to touch them, and then you time it just right, and the blackout happens, and then you move to another person, so they're not expecting it, and you learn how to move in the dark in this place really well, and you get an inch in front of their nose, and the lights just come on all of a sudden, and you go, ah! And they're like, oh my God, wasn't expecting you there, and I'm like, woo! That was not nice. And then I go up, and then my favorite line is, oh, you must be here because you've heard of the plague and bad blood and stuff. The good news is the doctor is in. The bad news is that's him right there. And like you point to the dead body and you're like, yeah.
Oh no.
But lucky for you, I'm his assistant and I know everything about the plague. And like my character was just like, the plague. This is so good. And, oh, this is a heartbeat. Oh my God, this is gross. Bladder, still full. And then you squirt the audience and they're like, ew, and it's just water. And it's just, I loved that neurotic character. And then they go through an Alcatraz. I loved being Alcatraz. And it's just like a guard telling a ghost story. But every so often the lights will go out and you have to move in the dark. The funniest part of that is when the lights go out. And this is true with scare acting too, just so you guys know. This is all scare acting related too, because when scare actors move in the dark, this is usually what's happening too. You don't know this. But I'm going to stand up. So as the Alcatraz guard, I had this dress, this very long skirt. It was like khaki and it was a uniform, right? But it was very long. And it was very heavy. So when I stepped, it would make a sound. So I had to, when I moved in the dark, I had to lift up my skirt as high as I could and make very large steps because there's this very long table in the middle of the room that I have to work my way around. So I stand in front of them, I arrange them, you sit there, very authoritative. Then I stand in front of them and I'm like, welcome to Alcatraz. Thunder happens, lights go out. As soon as the lights go out, I had to go from the front of the room to the other side of the room within like 3 seconds. So what happened was, welcome to Alcatraz, lift up skirt, big step, panic, run a little bit, it's about to happen. And then back to authoritative as soon as the lights come back on.
So true.
In this year, in 18 whatever, like I don't remember the script. It's been so long. It's like in this year, in 18 something. This is what happened. Da 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 da. But in the dark, I'm like panic.
That's very accurate.
And another funny story of like a blackout. Sorry, we'll call it a stream soon after this. I promise, guys. Like we just have. I haven't caught up with Sammie in so long, and you guys are triggering so many stories for me. This is just like a rabbit hole going down, of like, oh, I miss the dungeon days, whatever. There was this one guy I worked with, Ricky, and it was Halloween time, so we were supposed to. And if you did the welcoming character, though, welcome to the San Francisco dungeon, what's gonna happen in the dungeon? Well, let me tell you. And like that's the greeter character, so they're like a mix of like Willy Wonka and a snake, because they're con artists and they want you to go through the dungeon and be terrified. But around Halloween time, we had this mask on like a little stick. So we would have to like incorporate it in some way and like put it in front of our face and stuff. Ricky, just so you know, he was very gay and that was important to the story. Okay? He's a very gay man.
Noted.
Part of that character is you're on top of, like, you go up some stairs and you're on like a little stage, but when you trigger a blackout at some point, it's like you'll never know what happens in the dark, and then it fades to a complete blackout. In the blackout, you're like panicking, like, okay, here's step 1, 2, 3. I go around here. I should be in front of them right now. Lights on. Yeah. So it's like you have to time it right. You have to really know your set, and you're like feeling around. No one ever sees you feeling around for things. It's just like, I'm around the right place.
Panic in the feeling.
And act as if you knew what you were doing the whole time. Ha 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 ha. As long as you don't bump into anyone, you're fine. And so Ricky, when he was on top of the stage, he noticed in the front of the group, there was this gorgeous woman with very large breasts. And her son, who seemed to be about 5 or 6. And his thought process was, aha! I'm gonna get the boy, you know, like I'm gonna scare him so good when the lights come on. I didn't want it to sound like, oh, I'm gonna get the boy, but he's gonna scare the boy. So he's like, oh, in the dark, and then the lights go out, goes down the stairs, and he kneels down real close. He's like, I'm an inch from this boy's face. I know it. I have this mask on. I'm an inch in front of the boy's face. Lights are gonna come on right now. Lights come on and boobs. He was just a little off. So he's full on like looking at this woman's breast, and he was hoping to scare the kid, but he was just so just a little off in his guesswork in the dark. So it's just like boom. So he's like, over here we have the wheel of misfortune. I comes backstage. He tells us that he's just like, I'm not even attracted to boobs, but they think I am now. Like, so be very careful working in the dark.
I love that story.
Like, really calculate it out so you don't accidentally bump into anyone or, you know, stare at someone's breasts as the lights come back on.
Like,
let's see. Which room with you? I answered all of them. It wasn't available at that time, but now I know what we missed. We got escorted through to the next room instead of being kidnapped. Yes, the boat ride would break down constantly. They did not care about it at all. You did not miss anything at all. So do not feel bad being escorted through. More likely than not, they would just have a Nico be all like, oh, this is the story of being shanghaied, and oh, but I'm saving you, and oh, you smell like the plague, I'm gonna take you to a doctor. And then they just like escort you down to plague and just skip the boat ride entirely. They did not care about that ride at all. They never fixed it. They fixed it every once in a while, so I was able to ride it like twice in my whole like 8 months of working there. So don't worry, you didn't miss anything. Sorry, it was for the wolf teeth and stuff. Is it your book? Is not my book. I got hired to narrate it. I'm a voice actor, so I get hired to narrate books. It's good to be busy, but sometimes it's overwhelming. Yes, it is. Hiding in fog is amazing because guests don't know where you are. Yes, sometimes you don't even know where you are, and that's where it gets a little confusing. I was thinking about that, like if there's a way to do a haunt on Zoom. Oh, that'd be cool. Maybe like the concept of the dungeon. Yeah, that would be really cool, actually. Like now you're in this room, and that may have been Carnival. I know that's at Not Scary Farm, but I don't know what you're referencing. I personally last went back in 2011 before, unfortunately, I had a horrible experience due to personal reasons. I'm sorry about that. but wanted ever since to be a scare actor to overcome it. Nice. I've been through Carnival. I would love to be one of those clowns. That seems really cool. It's my first year working as a scare actor, and your videos have been a lot of help and fun. Thank you. You're welcome. I have more videos here on YouTube. If you haven't seen them and you want to be a scare actor, I've got some tips and tricks. I'm thinking of making some more. I'm getting a very common question in my TikToks of like, how do I act like this during the mess? And I have to tell you, I don't have experience working with this unprecedented thing that is happening right now, and I won't be able to work it because my haunt got canceled. Our haunt got canceled, so we won't be able to do that. My tip is be safe. Hopefully they gave you enough precautions to work with it, and if you have a mask covering your nose and mouth, great, but still try and stay far enough away from the guests. If you are, I think that I'm going to ask you this too, Sammie, because you work in zones a lot too. Mm-hmm. I think the best way to go about scaring from a distance is to lean into the ambiance and give an uncomfy feeling of it, rather than trying for a scare. And the best way to do a scare is to become unpredictable in some way, like mix up your predictability, because that makes people feel like they're in the unknown, and that's what's going to cause them to be scared. The best example is when you're moving very slowly in one direction, and then you look at them all of a sudden. Like, switch it up and go really fast. That's one way to do it, but I have no real advice for working with this unprecedented thing. I have no experience in it.
None of us
So
know.
how would you work from a distance to try and get a scare, Sammie? Anything?
That is tough. Honestly, probably just reiterate what you said, just like the ambiance. Because I know, the spot that I worked in last year and in Masquerade was on the street, but it was at the end of a maze. So the cool part is I got to hear people talk about the maze as they're coming through the street. A lot of times people would be like, wow, like that was so cool, the way they looked at me, or like, that room was so amazing. It like gave me the creeps. Like sometimes people talk about the things that you as a character don't necessarily think about. Like just the ambiance of it all, and just being like creepy and just staring is sometimes just as effective as just jumping out at people.
Yeah, that's a good point, because as scare actors, like a lot of people really try for the scare, but sometimes what you really need to do is just pull back, and just staring at them really intensely could make them feel unsettled enough to be scared, because you never know. You never know what scares someone. Let's see. My friend's twin on their birthday got in the cage. She was giggling like a maniac. I'm so happy a few others and I knew morbid trivia for the man's sake. So talking about the dungeon, you go through 3 weapons. So one is like this hook, and it's like, all right, sir, stand up, turn around, bend over. I like this spot myself. Haha, just kidding. Okay, sit back down. So like little weapons like that. And the last one is the chappy chopper, and that's my favorite. Because like, what is this used for? And everyone's like, fingers. And I'm like, those are good guesses, and I might do that later, but no. Think a little lower. That's right. 1, 2. Oh, is that all you got? All right, well, let's get something a little more your size. And you get this winky dinky little one. It's like, this has got to fit you a little better. Here you go. At that point, you're interrupted in the show. Like, it's part of the show. Like, you get interrupted, and then you send them through to court. I love that. Sorry, spoilers. But it's still fun to experience. So if you ever want to do it, it's really fun. I have a cattle prod, so it's really easy to scare from a distance. Cattle prod? What's that?
I don't know.
Is like a whip? My haunt is a drive-through, and we're sold out, luckily, but it's so hard to get good scares when guests are in their cars with the windows rolled all the way up and have tinted windows. If you want to do a stunt, and you've practiced this stunt and you could do it in a safe way, act like they ran into you and go windshield and over, and that'll activate their own fear of like actually running someone over. I'm just kidding. Do not take this advice. Do not take this advice.
Oh my gosh.
You could break your bones, you could break the car, like, do not take this advice. But
I was like, dang, she's really going all in.
no, do not do that.
Not advised.
I will piggyback on that advice with other advice of saying, like, sometimes things are scarier because they could theoretically happen to you. So if you're playing a victim, it is in my opinion, it's more effective to scream about what is happening to you rather than like trying to grab at a guest and scare them and get a jump scare. Because like you were saying, like the ambiance might be the thing that triggers them. So if you're in a cage or something, yes, absolutely use that, reach out for help. But in the example I give in one of my videos of like playing the victim, if you are getting your guts ripped out by an evil doctor, realistically in that scenario, from what I could imagine, I would not be reaching out to other people and like doing a half crunch trying to reach out to them, because first off, I have no ab muscles right now. I would not be in a half crunch. Secondly, I'd be more focused on the dude trying to rip out my intestines and try and fight him off, rather than help me. So yes, it's as an effective as a scare to just reach out to them. It's a very valid scare. For me, I try and lean more into what's more realistic, and then that's going to creep them out more, because then they can picture them like that happening to them. Does that make sense? Hope I explained that right. Have you ever been a victim? Have you ever been a kill?
Once. It was my first year because I started off in pool, and then I got cast as the Purge Tree Girl. But I was. Did you go through Krampus?
No, I was not in LA at that time, I believe.
So there was this scene where one of the girls is getting eaten by a Jack-in-the-Box. So I was laying in this bed and one of my legs was in the Jack-in-the-Box. And the Jack-in-the-Box didn't move. The only way it moved is when you moved it yourself. So I had to kick the Jack-in-the-Box and move it while also trying to be like, help me. Oh no. And it was awful.
Just multitasking. That sounds exhausting. I'm sorry.
I was just like, ugh. But the nice thing is the costume was just jeans and a shirt, so you could just walk out, and I didn't have to like cover makeup or like anything like that. Which is nice. I love those costumes. Yeah.
Which is nice. Like, if you are in a costume, you have to cover up if you want to walk around anywhere in front of guests, because otherwise they're going to be like, oh, you're out of costume and you look like a person. So, like, we would wear either a robe or a onesie and, like, cover up as best we can. Yeah, my first year scaring, I was one of the camp counselors, so I just had, like, a yellow shirt and jeans. So I just put on my sweatshirt to cover up the Camp Crystal Lake shirt. And yeah, people point out, hey, you got some blood on your pants. And I'm like, it's fruit punch. Like, what blood? What are you talking about? But other than that, I had just red around my eyes, so I'd like wear sunglasses. They're like, it's like midnight. Why are you wearing sunglasses? I'm like, oh, because my future's too bright, bitch. Yes. So... let's see. So yeah, I don't know how to go through drive-through because I've never done that personally. I am not master scare actor. I have some advice because I've been scaring for years, but I've not been through every scenario, so I'm sorry, I don't know how to do that. And also, my scene is not a very scary scene in the haunt. It's sort of like a game show, so we're in the middle of two scary scenes, so guests are more confused than scared, LOL. That's more on the set designer and the maze designer to do that, then. That's not on you. Don't worry about that. Just keep going. The cattle prod.
If I didn't, like, if I was like, oh, this guest is not going to be scared, I was like, but you know what? I'm going to make them laugh. Because if I can get any kind of reaction out of them and they're having a good time, I'll take it.
I think that's great advice, because like we were saying before, of like, if you could heighten an emotion and then switch it, it's going to transfer over. So if you are not in a scary environment and you make them laugh, but the next thing that happens scares them, they're going to be even more scared. So you're actually helping out your fellow scare actor by doing that. Just get a reaction out of them. That would be great.
Have fun with them. Yeah, that's fun too.
It's a fun thing going on. And also, you do want to balance the comedy with the scary every once in a while.
Absolutely.
Yeah, to give them a little break, because if it's scary all the time, they might go into shock, you know? So don't want that to happen. The cattle prod is like a baton with a button that makes a really loud noise, kind of like a stun gun almost.
Oh,
okay. Kim goes, oh my god, you're still going, haha. Is she there?
Yeah, she's in her room.
Kim, come out, say hi. Yeah, we're still going, and now you're involved. All right, third interview. Let's go. Unplanned. Come on, Kim.
She texted me. She says, so much cackling.
We're having
From my
fun.
end.
It's a fun time. Subscribe.
Hold on. Wait, keep it going.
What's going on?
Okay, fun fact. My light switch is on the outside of my room. It's not on the inside.
Why?
I don't know.
Who designed that?
I don't know. So when she wants to mess with me, she'll just flick the switch.
That's so funny. It's funny that you're both scare actors too, so that's very effective.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, for your roommate's sanity, I guess we should let you go.
All right. Sounds good.
And any other final advice for scare actors that have never done scare acting before?
Be open to criticism and always ask questions.
I think
Don't
that's
take it personally. They're just trying to help you.
Fantastic advice. Also for life, you know? Don't take things too personally and just know that people are trying to help. Also take it with a grain of salt too, you know? Especially if
Absolutely.
If you've never done it before, but like one person's only done it for 1 year and they're like, I know everything ever. Like, yeah, learn from their experiences, but also know like they don't know everything. So just like whatever's good for you, definitely listen to supervisors. Definitely listen to like vets like Bubba, who's been doing it for 8+ years.
Long time.
Yeah, but also do what's most comfortable for you and following the rules of the haunt, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to do, I did want to plug something, if that's okay.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, is there any like social media, anything to plug? That's always the final thing I ask. It's like, please plug your stuff.
That's so funny. Okay, so you had mentioned Camp Crystal Lake. So I'm actually going to be part of a fanfic film called My Special Boy. You can check it out on Instagram, My Special Boy Movie. It is a feature-length film, and it is about these camp counselors that are bringing back this camp. They don't know that it's Camp Crystal Lake until Jason arrives.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm one of the counselors. So do I live? Do I die? I don't know. You have to see. But I'm so excited.
The cliffhanger. Oh my God. Where can people see the movie once it's out?
It will be on YouTube.
It'll be on YouTube. Okay, so follow you on Instagram to know updates?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're interested in the film that she just described that she is featured in, a feature-length film that will be on YouTube, do you know when?
They're planning a release in August. So it's going to be a while. Next year, and we're filming in January, but I'll definitely be posting some stuff on my Instagram, Sammie.Kahkola. It's just my first and last name with a dot in between.
Yes. Okay. So I have her Instagram handle in the description below. So follow her on Instagram. She's awesome, first off, but also especially if you're interested in that film that she just described that she's going to be a part of in August, since it will be quite a bit of time. It's probably best to follow her so that you know updates on the film. Also follow her on TikTok. She tells a lot of stories of like her working in a hotel and also like advice on how to book hotels and, you know, just knowing the other side of things so you know how to be a good guest at a hotel and how to get those perks and stuff.
Absolutely.
You know.
How to get
so
free upgrades.
follow her on TikTok and Instagram. Anything else, Sammie?
Oh, that's it. That's all I got.
That's it? Okay, well, thank you so much for being here, Sammie. It was great to have you on. Great to catch up, too. Like, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
So don't be a stranger. And thank you all so much for being here in the live stream, and thank you for chatting with us. It's always a lot of fun to do these interviews. I'm excited to keep doing them. I have 2 guests, again, scheduled for this upcoming Saturday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I do these every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll be interviewing 2 Scareactors at a time. Also, if you don't already follow me here on YouTube, please do. That's how you know when I'll go live. I also upload videos whenever I have a chance to do so. That'll help with tips and tricks of being a scare actor, and also cosplay in my Let's Plays. If you're interested in my gaming, I do Scareactor Plays Horror, so if you're interested in a scare actor being scared themselves, I've been playing a lot of Phasmophobia with friends lately. I still need to finish Emily Wants to Play. I don't know when I'm going to be doing that because it's scary as hell, and I got a lot of anxiety. So we'll see. But sometimes I do play the like Among Us and Fall Guys and those more fun games too. So if you're interested in that, I go live on Twitch Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Everything's 8 p.m. just to make it easy. Except for on TikTok, when it's Fridays at 5 p.m. Fridays at 5 p.m. on TikTok, I go live, and we do these 16-tier bracket game competitions for like different categories. So last time we did favorite Halloween movie, and Hocus Pocus won. And then we did favorite Halloween candy, and Reese's Cups won. And it's different every time because it depends on who's in the live stream, what category we're doing. I let you all decide the contestants. I go in order of comments of what to put up there. I play bailiff a little bit in case it's not really in the category, you know. But otherwise, you guys are in control, and we vote until we have a winner. So I'll do like average 2 of those competitions every Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on TikTok. Yeah, I guess the only time I don't go live is Thursdays, and Sundays. Interesting.
Your day off.
Oh, I need a day off every once in a while. But yeah, please follow me on Twitch, here on YouTube. Instagram is where you're going to get those updates for my live streams and what's going on, because I am in the middle of a move. I am very stressed out. And sometimes I need a break, or something needs to be postponed for like technical difficulties. The way to know that is by following me on Instagram, and I'll be updating my Instagram story. So follow me on Instagram if you're interested in my live streams. That's the way to know if they're even happening. So, which they typically will be, but sometimes, you know, technology hates me. So better to know than not know, you know? So yeah, follow me on all the things. I'm really easy to find. And thanks for being here. I appreciate you all. And I will see you in the next live stream with other Scareactor friends to tell their stories. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.